So anyway, I said to Becky, right? And you wouldn't believe it that Stacey... Oh my god! Oh, hi. Hey everyone. You are very welcome to the end of the Elden Ring tournament. The Tarnished Cup. There might even be a cup if I can figure out how to send one to someone. But yes, welcome in everyone. And joining me is the wonderful, the amazing, the immaculate. It's Montage. Montage, how are you keeping?
I am great, and it feels good. It feels good to be the boys are back in town, as we were saying. You know, it's been a minute. I can't remember the last time we casted a tournament together. This was like
must have been earlier on this year, hasn't it? We surely casted during the weekly brackets at some point or another, didn't we?
Yeah. But like, you know, a full on Tarnished CUP NA $100 PvP. Okay, you know, it's been a minute since we've had one of the big boy tournaments where we have all of this beautiful worthy talent all stuffed into one bracket here today. They are,
and what a bracket it is. There was a couple of dropouts at the last minute and some people who couldn't make it, but we got that Bevon, that are everyone's favorite laggard, coming in round 2. Mag Casual, Darcy next, Tacman, Sip, Barebones in the old K2, and a couple of newcomers as well, which I'm super stoked to see. We have Nate and JackTech, neither of which I've had the pleasure of seeing playing. So I'm pretty excited to see how this one is going to go. And it does seem as though both of our players are in JackTech versus Barebones in this round 1 fight. I'm pretty stoked to see how this one is going to go. It's Montage TV.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I do really enjoy every time there's some new faces in tournaments because, you know, it's one of those things where we've seen it happen multiple times where, you know, someone just out of the blue, just out of left field, just comes out and just absolutely dominates. And you're like, I know I've seen it before. I'm like, how did that happen? Who is this? Like, we need to know more about them. So anytime we see new faces, and a lot of times with new faces, you get to see like new ideas come to the forefront. And, you know, maybe we see that today. I think we're looking at it. What was that? Double Shunter. Heck yeah. Versus, is that a bastards or what is?
I'm not sure. Let's take a quick peek. So we have Barebones who's rocking the
Claymore.
Shunter.
Okay,
Shunter on that 653 strength. Pretty understandable. A lot of endurance there on Barebones. He has some weight to lug around. It's gonna be needed, and it's a Claymore. Oh me, oh my. Interesting.
All reliable.
Will he be able to beat up on the memory of Chase the Toes with that Claymore? It remains to be seen. But either way, Monty, both of our players are in. They are at the ready. And I think I've everything set up. Give us the count in at your leisure, bestie.
I will. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom, kabam, kaplow. And we do see the physics coming out. Barebones with that unrelenting aggression, managing to get some hefty damage then against JackTech in this best of 3, as it does look as though that CR1 is not going to land there from the side of JackTech. To see Barebones skedaddling about there, just trying to get that spacing right, as we are going to see that run R1 come out into a trade, but the Claymore has more poise. You see what I did there? I'm so clever. As we do now see JackTech go for another CR1, but he's going to get caught! Barebones getting that anti-air there into another trade, the piercing fang into a follow-up R1 there, as we do see Barebones taking the first round. Oh,
and I have to say, I love the way Jack is playing right now. He's this is something that I have adopted. It's called the monkey mash out of hit stun, and he did that like 2 or 3 times in that fight. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people would say that in making that gamble, it's usually not a safe bet. But every now and then, you know, you're gonna take you might take a win. You know, you might pull one out because the guy's like, did you really? Was that a choice that you did, and then it worked? And you know what? It did. So, you know, hey, first game, first tournament, you know, like, okay, now we know what Barebones is capable of. I mean, he's been getting these roll catches really good. So we'll see how he adjusts here. Go ahead and count me in, end it. Let's see how this next round is going to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have both of our players in. Jack in red, Barebones in blue. And the score, which I do need to update because I've been trying to find where the instant replays have been hiding. And they are hiding, believe you me. As that is Barebones up 1, ladies and gents. On a 3. On a 2. On a 1. Allez!
All right. Both players do. What was that? Barebones, what did you do? Like a gang sign at the beginning of that? Okay, either way, both physics going off right there. Ooh, okay. We see the R1, especially on PSGS. You don't see that too often, but we do see the classic crouch boats coming out from Claymore here. And I saw from the last round, it looks like impaling thrust into the Claymore. It's a classic combo. And then you do the R2 right after. And there's some level of priority that's actually given there. But either way, I mean, look at the spacing right now from Barebones. He's getting these just well-spaced crouch L1s. He's matching him with a Claymore. Barebones did a swap over. He said, all right, Claymore v. Claymore fighting right now. He's gonna match him. Oh, a big charge R2. Catches the aggression there. Okay, nice. A crouch R1 coming from Jack, just saying like, hey, I'm gonna... Both of these people are just playing chicken right now, but we do see that the bubble has been popped on the side of Jack, so there... Oh, wow, the call. He just sat there and looked at him real quick. But either way, Barebones with a commanding lead on his health right now. Catches the jump with the R1. Got to be careful when doing that against any type of greatsword that has that overhead swing. And another perfectly placed R2. It is looking dire at 29 health for Jack and does get the crouch R1 poke. Barebones said, hey, nice weapon. I can do that as well. And now I'm a stinky little green man. That's cool. Yeah, okay. Very good. Well, good stuff from Barebones there.
Is gonna be that round there. Barebones moving on into the next round in this best of 3 for round 1. Interesting choices. Definitely interesting choices there coming out from the side of Barebones. And I will remind our players to make sure. There we go. It does seem as though we have identified the other player who was looking to join a tournament. Apparently he signed up for the wrong tournament. Oof.
Oh no! Oh no!
We do have clarification of who's who. All right. Everything is becoming more clear. But that was that match between Barebones and Jack. Very good.
Did you see that little stop that he did right there? So Jack went for the running R2 and Barebones just stopped and stood still. Pulled like a Neo from the Matrix type thing and said, all right, my turn. I like that. You know, put a little sauce on it, you know, get the people what they want. But yeah, like, gosh, that R2, he caught Jack in just a few of those. Like one of the things that makes Claymore like really scary or something, you know, to behold is those charged R2s that if you do just happen to eat one to the face, have a good one with that, you know. So well done there, Barebones.
All right, let me just both players please leave so I'm not caught with my trousers down with trying to get the camera stuff to work. So please, everyone, skedaddle out of world if you haven't already. Love and appreciate you, but a good, strong first match from both of our players. And remember to log your scores. It is up to you to do it. So please do that if you be ever so epic. And I do have to start the tournament. There we go. Wow. I love admin stuff. And now we have K2. K2. Nate. PW. Wahaha.
Ooh. Yeah, so next up we have... Yeah, K2 and Nate. Nate is also another newcomer, to my understanding, as well. So, I mean, same rules apply where we might see something come out of the blue that we don't see coming. I mean, I like Heartbreaker Jaker pointed out in chat earlier, you know, a Claymore mirror in the year 2025 of our Lord is not what I had in my bingo card. So we're already off to a great start in terms of just weird shit I want to see. So, you know, maybe Nate will bring something to the table here. We do know K2, you know, they've been around the block for a while and they've had some pretty decent runs that I've seen, at least.
Yeah, K2's been a fairly good frequenter of a ladder for the last while. I believe they were in the last few, I believe it was in the last FOC and along with the last Kai tourney, which was Samurai Kai's tournament was absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Incredible.
Oh, mon ami. So yeah, it's nice to see an experienced player, but it's also, as you said earlier on, Montage, it's absolutely exquisite to see newer players show up into the scene and really show us what they have and bring that bit of fresh love of the game, because I know we can all get very jaded around here. I know certainly I am.
I do love that you added the extra adjective of saying that was exquisite. I really do love the dynamic between you and I. You know, you look at something and you look at the art of what's happening. I look at something, I say, hell yeah, monkey mash, brother. So this is really good that we've covered all audiences and what people want to see.
Yeah, we're just clarifying. Just let me clarify to players, we do have a confusion. Remember, it is Den 2 that we are playing in today. It's not Den 2. It's Den 1 we are playing in, just because of all the bells and whistles are required to make these tournaments look as good as they do. Please do remember we are on Den 1, not Den 2. So please do remember that. Soon, the tournaments will probably be on Den 2 at some point. So yeah, looking at that there, we have, I think, K2 already in World. Epic. Or is that... I'm not
wonderful.
Sure. It could be Nate either. Let me just check that.
Do you remember, because like we said, K2's been around a second. Do you remember if there's any type of setup that K2, is comfortable with that you remember, or has the Warhammer taken over all memory?
Warhammer's completely taken over, unfortunately. I had my ass absolutely beaten. All memories just gone. Disappeared. Replaced exclusively with how good it is for Blood Knights to charge into Wild Riders, okay? That's what has replaced my memory. And we do see Axie as well in chat. Axie, thank you so much for popping by. And Alluvial for gifting the sub. Alluvial, you are another up-and-coming caster who's really making a name for himself. So do be sure to follow Alluvial for all the good stuff they're doing over in their corner. And now we're just waiting for players to pop in.
Yeah, big shout out to Alluvial and all the other tournament hosts that are still keeping the competitive scene alive and well, and just giving people the opportunity to a game this late into its life cycle, over 3 years now with Elden Ring. There's still keeping this little niche interest alive. So I have the utmost respect for anyone that's doing tournaments. Shout out to Alluvial, yourself, of course. Everyone that's
in
that's
chat
doing
as
that.
well. Axie, of course,
Axie,
is the new Den head whose software is improving the game slowly but surely. It's absolutely incredible stuff what they've been able to do. I've seen so many things. By the way, who's that? It's Montage. Crowned. What the fuck? I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Alright, so we have K2 versus Nate, who I believe is called High. Excellent. And now, let's take a quick peek at the builds. Enough yapping. God, all these casters do is yap. That's crazy.
I know. That's like they just speak, and it's like, dude, stop complaining.
But it does seem as though it's going to be the Starfists on the side of K2 versus Nate is going to be rocking the Shamshir, the classic matchup. The classic matchup. Here.
Sham is my comfort pick when I've given up on everything. Well, it's Twin Blade, then it's Shamshir. And because Twin Blade just lets me swing it more. But Shamshir is like a faster. Now, I don't know if faster is the right word. But I like the weapons where I just like to put up a wall of damage and pray to God they run into it. And Sham's great for that. So
I think the old Endatech, of course, was if you spam R1 and neutral for long enough, they will walk into it.
They will eventually die. Yeah. Monkeys and typewriters. All right.
Either way, give us the count in, bestie.
Yes, sir. In 3, 2, 1, allez.
And there we have it. We are going to see both of our players going for their respective buffs. Look at this here. We are going to see K2 be doing some shenanigans here in neutral. Going for that jump attack. It is not going to land as a run attack. Is going to manage to clip Nate in the noggin as a dagger comes out there just to try and get that headshot. Maybe get some disruption. Jump R1 over the top there. But alas, it is not to be. As a Nate is going to be clipped there. The R2 comes out going for that run R1 as we do see that attempt to whiff punish there with the Shamshir. Nate is not looking too hot here with a fairly substantial life advantage on the side of K2. Another run attack, but the spinning slash The old spin to win, but he's going to be punished for it as a good rollout comes out there from K2. K2 chilling like a villain here in the corner, but that jump R1 is going to come out unpunishable, unlovable, runawayable, as we are going to see now. K2 set up there for the Divine Beast Frost thing. I totally remember the name of that, trust. As we do see now both players running about in neutral. The R2's got to trade. Nate's tear popped. K2 still with the substantial life lead here is that R1 from Sham. Just trying to get those catches. Another jump in to try and get the catch. Spin slash from Kilo. But it looks as though the punish comes in at a mile a minute. As we are going to see those turnaways. And really nice turnaways coming out there from the side of Nate. Just trying to bait in some aggression. Which, alas, it is going to happen. But he's not in the position to punish it. Standing R1 there to try and get that. But alas, it is not to be. Empty jump over the top there once more. Nate! Going to be R2 to the face.
R2.
Stabbed in the back. Owie.
Devastating amount of damage. I have to say, just from watching that first match, and again, this is the first time we've seen Nate play, I think despite like the health lead that K2 had there, and just really commanding lead in general, despite all of those things, I think Nate has been just showcasing some like really good fundamentals. I think just tightening up things, you know, tournament nerves and all that stuff. But like, I think like the foundation is there that Nate can actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they had almost a complete reversal next round. I mean, it definitely, in my eyes at least, you know, my very untrained eyes, it looks like Nate is definitely has the potential there to do really good. So interested to see how this next one goes. I definitely wouldn't
say there was any real mistakes, just maybe a comfort thing. Again, first tournament, first nerves. Really solid play though from Nate. So pretty impressive stuff. And you know, beating a player of the caliber of K2 is no easy task. But it's montage. We have both of our players in. And a score marked for the amazing, the wonderful K2, which I'm totally doing now. And didn't forget to. There we go. Both players are in. Will I give you the count in, sir?
Yes, sir.
And on a 3, on a 2, on a 1. Ali!
Okay. As we all know and love, physic pop. Oh, okay. We have projectiles on both sides coming out. And it looks like Nate actually got the better of that. You know, with having his throwing knives hit it. Actually, he didn't take damage, so maybe not. But point being is that it's a really funny start. But either way, we do see, so K2 is despite losing that first round, still looks like they are kind of on the aggression more than anything. I mean, that to me, that bodes confidence, which is always good to see. Nice movement here from K2, though, being able to just, you know, wiggle their way out of things. You know, it's Shamshir has so much range. And I mean, that's Starfist 101 right there. You get in, and then you get those big damage hits. Oh, the horror for the... I don't know the name either.
Divine Beast stop. Oh my god!
What? Okay, backstab on a Shamshir is not something you see every single day, so that's a crazy catch. Well done there from K2. But in either way, still, again, with these big spinning slash, it's definitely going to check that jump attack there. Great stuff there. But either way, still, like first game, there's a bit of a health discrepancy. K2 is damn near full health right now. And we do see, again, trying to get these spacing punishes. It's one of those things where it's kind of the game plan against Starfist. You know, you want to use the range of your weapon against theirs, but, you know, then there's damage. So, oh my gosh, but these jumps are not working out. Oh, nice. Good spin slash. Big chunk of damage out there. K2 is able to roll out right now. Okay, re-greasing the weapon. And nice. Oh, almost got the jump attack punish, didn't quite get there, and a hail of harpoons. Okay, in middle like that. Let's go, K2.
There she blows, dude.
Yeah, we see full defense talismans on Nate's side. They are gonna try to turtle this one up. They are still not as aggressive. Oh, but that running attack punish with the R2 is a big one that takes 16 health. It's gonna be an absolute mountain to climb here, especially with K2 still having their bubble. This is gonna be a rough one. We do see some throwing knives coming out. Doesn't quite land. You know, right now, he's just really trying to finish this off with a throwing knife. I love that. And nice. Again, the movement on Nate's side as well is definitely something to, you know, not bat an eye at. But either way, it is Starfist. It's a fist weapon at the end of the day. So cleaning up matches on that weapon in particular is definitely one of the stronger options to do that with. So it looks like K2 does win the second round as well in the best of 3. So well done to K2.
Yeah, really nice play, and I have to say the movement here on both of these players was really nice. Some of the strafes that Nate was managing to grab there on the Starfish Run R1s was a really tasty effect. And look at the movement here. Immediately spaces out. Had an opportunity there, Montage, to go for a punish on that roll attack there that came out, but didn't take it, played it safe, went in and did beautiful strafe here that comes out. Like some really, really solid play from the side of Nate, but alas, not able to make it there in that one. And I will ask the players log their scores, folks, but really, really nice. Really, really nice showing here from the side of both of our players. And it does seem, folks, as though that is going to be that round done and dusted. And we're going to move on to Bevon versus Barebones. So
Bevon, obviously and when it comes to all things competitive, Elden Ring goes, it's if that's a name you don't know, then I don't know how you've managed to do that. You know, Bevon is definitely built himself up as one of the monster of monsters when it comes to this competitive game mode. So, you know, but Barebones, he did have his 2 in the beginning, you know, could be feeling a little hot, could be feeling that momentum. Also, just one thing to point out, because chat keeps crying about it. The overlay does say first of 3 and it's best of 3.
Oh,
so,
I should probably change that, actually, now that I think about it.
You're good. But yeah, now Bevon is... you know, Bevon is somebody that's just showcased that in all of to kind of keep the game fresh. There's been a couple rule set changes, you know, in the last year, and you know, things like, oh, like some people don't want Starfist. Okay, let's move over to just using Cestus as like, you know, an alternative to that. And every single time there's been some type of change or, you know, things that have been implemented to kind of shift around the meta. Bevon has just been one of those people that has such good fundamentals that it just doesn't really matter that, you know, like he'll adapt to whatever the situation is and whatever is going on, and has just been so good at doing it. So yeah, we'll see how a stinky yellow green man over here will face up against the Bevon monster that is coming up. Also here in round 2, we also get to see Matt Casual and Darcy.
That's going to be a good match. That is going to be a fun match to watch. Both of them kind of use some funky stuff. Darcy, of course, with her custom rolled the Gugs Queen herself. Although I've seen her use some other stuff, not Shamshir. Sorry, I don't think I've ever seen her use Shamshir.
I was gonna say, I'm not the same person here.
Use some Scythe and a few other bits and pieces, so it should be interesting. But Bevon, he's rocking the PSTS.
Is that dual thrusting?
Yeah.
Is that what I say?
PSTS.
Interesting.
Twin stock moment. Oh my. Let's take a look at the builds here. This should be it's going to be kind of interesting here. Bevon, our beloved, using that 50 Faith PSTS. Dear God. That's going to hit like an absolute truck. And then, of course, Barebones rocking that halberd shenanigans. Okay. I have done a few matches against PSTS before I kind of dropped ER a little bit. I don't think my halberd has ever been able to take it out once on low HP. I think it's good night and good luck. And this is on low latency. I'm disgusted when fighting it. When you can't afford to tank that last hit, bro, that becomes so stressful. Power stat straight swords, yeah, I can do it. It's doable. You can manage it if you play terrified and hiding in the corner. Well, actually, no, don't get in the corner. That's a bad idea. But yeah, this should be... It's kind of... I would survive personally. Quiet you.
Yeah, I think like, you know, kind of what you're talking about, we brought up earlier, where, you know, like when you're in that kind of low health situation. I mean, to be fair, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a halberd main necessarily, but it seems like in a lot of cases, like your offhand weapon really is kind of like what dictates more or less of that, and that's how you make up for moments like that. So I'm not really sure what Barebones has in his offhand. And okay, yeah, he's doing the classic hand axe. Yeah. It's hard not to pick that over pretty much everything else. But in either case, you know, we do see the spear talisman, and yeah, kind of going for a little bit more defenses on the side of Barebones. We'll see how that works out. But in either case, I'm going to go ahead and count you in here,
Enda. That would be epic, bestie. I would love you forever if you did. Platonically, trust.
Oh, for sure. Right, trust. All right. Players prepare for combat in 3, 2, 1. Ale.
Kaboom, kabam, kaplowy. And that's my word, by the way, Montage. I just want you
That's
to
a cool word. I like that word. We have a ring out.
Ring out. What is it? What has he done? What has he
Bevon
done?
said, "I don't care about that round," or maybe you didn't add it to the rules, and he's saying, "Come out and fight me over here, because I am more comfortable fighting next to the Grace." Which, like a true Crab Shack duelist, I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, you take Thraller's concoction whenever you see something that you don't like. So that's, I mean, he could have done that either, you know? That's kind of the play.
There's really a lot of ways you could do it. Yeah, that's true.
No bubble. Ah, that would explain it. There we go. All right, give us that. We'll try that again. All right, Monty,
All right.
give us the countdown.
In 3, 2, 1, allez.
Boom, and welcome in Icebank My Monkey every night. Epic username.
That's cool.
Epic username. I appreciate that. Well, we do have both of our players coming in. The PSTS managing to get some really solid damage in there. The crouch attacks coming through as we do. Oh, and the mash comes out here on the side of Bevon. Barebones on the back foot. Another CR1 comes out there once more as we see the counter pressure coming out finally on the side of Barebones, who switched to sides. Not sure if that's the play. Not sure if that's the play, as we do see another thunderbolt of lightning, very, very frightening me, coming out from Barebones, whose tier is now procced, but the jump attack there in the PSTS is going to come out. But a really nice pick over onto the side here to get that super armor and guarantee that he's able to get in that counter pressure with his 80 HP. A dream. Will the dream carry him through to another CR1, and the crouch attack comes through, and the Mashu! Mashu. Woo! Into Bevon.
Those are ones.
Taking it.
That hurts.
They hurt. The emotional devastation that those things can cause is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And just the damage output as well. I think it was Saucy Ace who took them into a tourney, arguably for the first time. It's one of the very few setups, PSTS, that was so memed on in the early versions of ERPVP that people never really tried it afterwards.
Yeah.
It was literally, the 2-stock was literally a meme for the longest time. And it's only in the last like year and a half, 2 years that people have really tried it. That really fast CR1, after you get a little bit of poise chip, can just rock the socks off of pretty much any build that it's going up against. Absolutely nasty. But
yeah, I think on paper PSTS is like it's again, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to these games.
We know,
but like
but yeah.
it just seems in theory that it's a good idea, right? Again, I talked about like just throwing out hitboxes. Like that is the ultimate. We're just throwing shit out, and they're long as fucks, you know. So, but either way, we're seeing it on display. Bevon showing us why it is something to respect. Count me in, Enda. Let's see how round 2 goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bevon in red, Barebones, blue yabba dee yabba die, and on a 3, on a 2, and a 1, allez.
Okay, we're gonna see. All right, so the switcher from Barebones is going to the PSGS here, a classic. But of course, Bevon is no slouch to the setup as well, so I'm sure he is going to have. Oh, just barely gets the catch there. But right now, Barebones having a bit of the lead there. Ooh, okay, nice crouches. This looks like honestly one of his throughout the whole tournament. You know, the games that we have seen from Barebones, it seems like this really is one of his stronger setups. But right now, Bevon is just saying, "Are you trying to run away from me? You're gonna walk away from me? I will hunt you down like the sheep you are." Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was just talking about the lead that Barebones had, and I'm very thankful that I just cursed the shit out of that man for that. So go me. But either way, right now, I mean, Bevon is just all over him. Got him in the corner. Barebones, any level of aggression that he's trying to get is just being punished. And right now, Bevon is just switching between two-handing it and power stancing them. So I do like kind of the versatility in both options there. But either way, I mean, these running attacks, these running R2s, these jump attacks, like, yeah, okay, there we go. Again, it's PSGS at the end of the day. These things shit out damage. So, you know, a couple good roll catches and you can get people in that kind of almost pseudo vortex situation. But either way, I mean, oh, like big damage right there. But either way, it's down to 96 health and it's a thrusting sword. Yeah, it's going to finish it off. But that was, I mean, I still got to say, despite Barebones going down 0-2 there, like that last match, it was... He was fighting. He was fighting his way there, and to do that obviously against Bevon of all people too is like, you know, hey, that was a good showing from Barebones. But yeah, no, this power stance thrusting sword, you know, also two-handing it as well. Yeah, I like the setup. I mean, it seems like it does cover a lot of options and scenarios that it'll just kind of give you the best opportunity. You know, using the two-handed for the chase down as well is like really nice. So, you know, I love this idea here. But yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, the switching between the one hand and the two hand the TS is kind of, it's actually pretty on the nose. What he's trying to do is he's trying to poise chip him with the backswing of the TSR1 and then immediately switching over there onto the PSTS to guarantee that poise break on the first L1. Really nice plays here from Bevon and tactically switching between the two, because two-handed thrusting sword into PSGS is pretty nasty to have to fight into, and add in also having that PSTS have a guaranteed poise break. But beautiful strafe there. The win condition for
that strafe was great.
Is more or less to try and go for the strafe and the run R2 and the two-handed thrusting sword. That's basically all he has. But it's really, really good stuff there from Bevon, and that's more or less how it's supposed to be. And we do see a question in chat, what's the best PSTS? I imagine Sacred, probably if double Sacred Blade is legal, you could probably go onto that or Flame Spear, depending on which buffs are legal or which ones aren't. That's probably Sacred, I think, is ultimately at the end of the day one of the best ones, just because you leverage that incredibly high damage. But that's for 125. 164 may have other things, and whether it's rule set dependent ultimately. But in this, I think the Sacred Blade is arguably the best one. But it just means that you do have to remember to swap your thrusting sword before going for the two-hand, because otherwise you would be breaking the rules. But...
And that's not good.
No,
don't do that.
Bad. You will be told to sit in the corner by montage specifically.
Exactly.
I would never.
I'll do that. I'm very aggressive like that. I'm gritting my teeth and my brows are furrowed right now. Yeah, don't do that. I think.
I would be terrified to break a rule now. Absolutely terrified to break a rule if with that hanging over my head. Dear God. Dear Lord.
Next up, we have Darcy at Mag Casual. So one thing that we know about Darcy that she has kind of been known for is her Gugs usage. I don't know if she'll be bringing that again today, or if she's going to be cooking up something else. But I have to say, as a Gugs fan myself, I do love to see the way that people like her, Footzilla have used it in the past. Yeah, so it's I'm always down to see what she brings to the table, and of course Mag, who has just for the longest time just it seems like the climb never stops with Mag. Mag has just been good. Mag has always been really good, but Mag is just seems like continually improving on their skills as well. So yeah, I think this will be a good fight. Both players definitely have established themselves as people to know their name of, and so whenever that happens, it's always good to see. But yeah, I don't know what Mag has been gravitating towards as of recent.
Jank.
That's hell yeah.
That's more or less That's Mag in a nutshell, I think.
Fantastic.
The setups that I don't know, I still have nightmares about him going into that Stone Club mirror. Dear God, that's oh Lord. Oh good God. Anyway, moving swiftly along, it is going to be Darcy versus Mag Casual. So this should be an exciting match. Darcy, of course, having come up through our Bennings brackets all those months ago, although last year actually, now that I think about it, I think in the pre-DLC
yeah,
it has, and has definitely made a bit of a name for herself since, taking the chain tourney and a couple of other bits and pieces over the last year. So it's always good to see her in bracket, and definitely the crowd goes wild for her. And Mag, of course, is one of the players. So this should be an
scared. That's why he's not here. Fear.
He has been pinged anyway. So Mag, if you just check end accord, and we'll get you in shortly, sir. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this one is going to pan out. And let me just double check. Oh, it does look as though yeah, there we go. We're
taunt.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We do see the Gugs, of course, on Darcy's side, so it does look like she's sticking with, her version of All Reliable. So, always good to see that. Yeah, so Mag here, like you said, sticking to some jank. I'm looking at the talismans right now, and it feels like, I don't know, like something you would see off of like some type of, thrusting Well, okay, never mind. Swapping that out. Screw whatever I say.
I think that's a safe thing to do. And his name, of course, joining world is, of course, Scammer. And he is on a 164.
So if he doesn't drop a game this entire tournament, then we have to investigate him, is what you're saying.
No, I think we message him real quick, tell him to get on an actual build.
Good stuff.
Yeah, there we go. Scammer has now left world.
Oh, he thought he could get that one past you. You thought you were a little sneaky there, Mag.
Yeah, trying to cheat.
We see through your debauchery. That's not the right word for it.
Golden teacher, thank you for the raid. I really hope I learned something. That would be epic. What were you teaching today? How gold stuff work? How gold is?
I think he was teaching people how OGs are, you know? He teaches the class in that.
I see. I comprehend.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
well,
I got you.
All the raiders, welcome into the Tarnished Cup, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to what could be one of the last NA tournaments hosted for at least this version of the game. Darcy has just said she's okay with fighting a 164. Maybe that's why she's curled up in the middle.
Confidence. Bring it back. Get back.
So let's check out the build. He's 126. Mag.
My brother in Christ.
Bro.
All right, well, Scammer is back at it again with their shenanigans. And here it does, like I kind of pointed out, it just seemed that they were going something thrusting related, so it looks like they're going for the Noble stock there. I think that's what that is. And then what I love about Darcy here, some people are like, yeah, you play like a halberd setup. Of course, you got to match that with having an offhand weapon. But Darcy, playing Gugs, which can fully and viably be played two-hand, has not one, not two, but three soft swap offhand options to account for any occasion here. So we have Beast Claw for the funnies, interesting little move set. We have, with Misery Cord with just having a dagger. Dagger is always a solid one. And we have my personal favorite offhand weapon using the hand-to-hand arts, just because I think they're weird, and I think it's funny that you can kick a guy right in the jaw and say, hee, Elden Ring PvP. But yeah, so, right,
All right,
it's all the same, right?
He says he's fixed it, so hopefully, it's all going to work. I love CE in its machinations. So hopefully, let's crack on with the rest of the event. But Monty, the full Monty, if you'd be ever so kind as to give me the count in, bestie.
I sure can. In 3, 2, 1. Allez.
And there we go. We are going to see the physics here from both players in the pot to end all pots.
Oh God, these are so annoying. Oh my, look at that damage! That's bullshit.
Oh God. And it does seem as though he's going to be rocking on that. Is that the Noble S-Stock? I believe so. On the side of Mag. As a runner one is going to come out here. Darcy is going to roll out here with that 500 or 600 HP difference. But she does go for the turnarounds here. Looking at this here, she is going to be clipped. 1400 HP all the way over to 2200 on the side of Mag. As a runner two comes out there from Darcy. Trying to go over for that toggle. But does manage to actually regain her footing. Get it? Because she's using the martial arts. I'm still
I get it.
Still
it uses
hilarious.
Speed. That's so good. Hey, Enda, that was good.
Oh, but not quite as good as that R2 that came out there on the side of Darcy, doing an absolutely amazing job of catching him. Almost evening it out here as we go for these blocks here. Unfortunately, we do see that turnaround there to try and catch Mag, but alas, Darcy's going to be clipped. Not as clipped as Mag is. Going to be into the backstab. Is that going to be it? It's that.
It is. Right? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Darcy. May you never change. The Gug, they call her the Gug's Queen for a reason.
Yeah, how does it feel to be God's favorite? What a catch. Holy crap. Oh my god! I mean, like Mag was just kind of running away with that one, right? You know, he was really getting his punishes in properly, not to say like Darcy wasn't obviously playing well herself, but yeah, that backstab was. I always find it very funny whenever you get a backstab on like weapons with pretty low, animation recovery. So, for instance, like Starfist or Shamshir or like thrusting swords, right? But I can see now after looking that back, yeah, it looks like she just read the roll in and got it. I mean, great call out on Darcy's part there. That was sick.
I will always say that Elden Ring players, when forced to deal with someone who vaguely knows how to fish, is a really funny thing, because no one is used to it. All of the fishes during DS3 left. I think I was watching LBU's stream a long time ago when he kind of came back after the DLC, and he was just fishing with utter impunity. It is really funny, and a really tasty pivot here came out on the side of Darcy, but just look at that. Just immediately goes to the roll. The roll BS, beautiful stuff, phenomenal. We have to turn that away. I think we'd have to make this stream 18 plus. If good God. Ugh. All right. Either way, we have both of our players in. Monty, are you ready?
Absolutely, I am. Count me in.
3, on a 2, on a 1. Allez.
Okay, so now that Mag knows that that's on the table, okay, back to these giant Rancor pots. These are... I'm just gonna speak bluntly here. This looks like shit. I don't know. I think it's great. I think this is utilizing the game and what it offers you. But man, fighting that, I would lose my shit. So well done on Darcy for just kind of waiting that one out. It looks like you can utilize those to kind of create a little bit of a frame trap if you do go into attack while those are chasing the person. But it looks like Mag just wanted to fill the screen with bullshit, and I do respect that option as well. So either way, we do see Darcy. Ooh, I love Darcy's movement. Just okay. Trying to get these setups. Again, a weapon as slow as Gugs, you do run the risk of. Is that?
Earthshaker.
I was like, oh, it's Golden Land. I'm like, nah, that what? Okay. Yeah, you can see she's constantly switching to her offhand weapons and just looking for opportunities to catch aggression, which is also what you're trying to do with Gugs as well, right? You want those trades, of course. You get the hyper armor opportunities there. But either way, right now she's doing a little wiggling and waggling, waiting for Mag to get aggressive. It looks like both players are kind of on the passive side of things, but I'd say that we get a running R2 straight in the neutral there. But Darcy's doing a good job of also holding that neutral. But either way, despite holding the ground, she's now she doesn't have the bubble, right? So health lead is in the favor of Mag.
Oh my god!
For the R2, the call out again. I'm loving these unlocks that she's attempting to get here right now to catch Mag. But either way, I mean, she completely brought that back. This is the power of Gugs, especially a greased up lightning Gugs like that. That's going to be just completely pissing out damage. And
oh my god, managing to clip him
into the kick, kickboxing, into the crouch poke. I love video games.
Darcy. Okay, so there is a bet going on currently between myself and Darcy. If she wins the tournament, I have to meow montage. So there is a lot on the line. There is a lot on the line right now.
Chat, you know who your champion must be.
This is where we're at right now in the ERPVP. The $100, nah, I snooze. The threatening to meow, that's where it's at. But GG's.
That's where the stakes are high. Did you find yourself on the wrong end of that bet? How did this come to be?
I just wanted Darcy to join the tourney because, number one, I enjoy watching her play, and as you can see, people go absolutely crazy to see what nonsense she's going to come out with next. So, of course, always good. And ladies and gentlemen, I would advise that if we're too serious, too sweaty, too cringe, you can check out Bron the Goats. It's linked in the challenge. I'm not sure if I can shout out Bron the Goat, but if one of my mods could put a shout out for Bron right now, that would be absolutely marvelous. So please do get on that. Bron is, of course, being very kind in hosting the losers bracket for us. So should be a grand old time. And
yeah, shout out Bron for doing that. That is not Bron's account. I think it's Bronda_goat, right?
Real Bronda Goat, I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, real Bronda_goat. Not this fake guy over here that doesn't have a profile picture.
That is true.
You know?
I hope this other guy
man.
gets. I hope this other guy gets some viewers out of this. That would be epic. I hope he's live.
He's just live and he's just like, what the hell is a Gugs? What the hell is that?
Bro, I'm out here playing Fortnite. What you all on about, bro?
Yeah, dude, I'm just trying to, do my orange justice dance and get a victory royale. What the fuck is a PSTS? Is that a slur? Like, yeah, what?
All right, let me get our new players in next. Not 2Es, next. And who's the other player at that? K2. K2. Let me get them messaged. There we go. All right, epic. I had Reela before.
Yay.
You're the real one, Chili. That's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Saul coming out here with the PSTS is how you call a cat. That is incredibly true, sir.
God, that's so facts.
Actual
So the cat people
facts.
setup is PSTS. That's what we've learned today.
That is accurate on several levels. I'll tell you during the break.
Me in my head wondering what this could mean.
There's several. I'll tell you when you're older, Monty. And there's some lore
thanks,
you
man.
need
Yeah.
to. There's some lore you need to be brought up on.
Thanks, Dad. I love to learn. All right, so we have Nex and K2. K2 making it out of their fight with Nate. 2-0 there. And we know Nex, again, when it comes to people that have been around the block. Of all the people on this list, I think Nex I've actually had probably the most amount of time spent with fighting. And I can say that when I am lean forward in my computer chair, and I'm like, this fight means everything. I don't get food for a week if I lose. He's over there with a blindfold and he's able to kind of mop the floor with me. So that hurts my feelings. But that means he'll be a good player today. And but I mean, we did also see K2 looking kind of high, just saying. So
I'm going to leave the thought I had on that comment far away and go, yeah, he played very well, Montage. Indeed, he did. There was some really good play here. The Starfist, really good positioning. That BS you managed to get on a Shamshir of all things was really impressive. And it does seem as though Next going to be rocking either the PSTS or just a single stock. Interesting. Oh my word.
Maybe it is the PSTS, and Bevon said, I am the cat person that will get this trend going. So
it does seem as though it's going to be two-handed thrusting sword. And thank you for the subscriptions, anonymous gifter. Absolutely phenomenal. Love and appreciate you all. But Monty, now is the time. We have both of our players in and ready to go. Will you give us the count in?
Such things. Players prepare for combat in 3, 2, 1. Beam.
Kaboom. Kabam. Kaplowy. As we are going to see, there she blows. The harpoons are upon her. Yarg. As we do see now that run R1 right in the face. Must be hard to keep on balance with that thing sticking out of your forehead.
It's a cool headpiece. Yeah, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It looks cool.
I like to think that it's like one of those headbands, the ones you can get on Halloween where there's like one either side where you have like the headband and the arrow sticking out. Is it kind of like that? Except slightly more unwieldy as those R2s are going to land. Ouch. Owie. That's tough. That's rough. As we do now see, the harpoons come out again, try and get those catching. Nex still has the life advantage, but against stars, it's not a sure thing as K2 is going to be caught in the corner. Managing to be clipped there, and then where are we going to see it? Crouch attack comes out. HP is now very much in Nex favor, along with the bubble tier, which is keeping him in it. The smartest play here K2 could go for is a run R1 into an R2 to try and get that bubble, that tier skip, which I think Starfist is still very much in the ability of going for. Is another trade. The R2 is going to pop the tier, and that's going to be all she wrote. Yep. Nex takes the first stock. The GG's. Let me just mark the score here very quickly. Do you see both players pretty much ready to go immediately? So we're going to give you the countdown, Monty.
Hey, why not?
Why the hell
Go
not?
ahead and do so.
Ladies and gents, on a 3, on a 2, on a 1. Ali!
Okay, both players off. Physic drank, and we do see another harpoon coming out. I did like that K2 had a harpoon sticking out of their head for half that fight, and they still said, fuck it, I'm him. So either way, we do see now both players, it's a thrusting sword mirror. In this day and age, wow. Insane. Never thought I would see that, but I will say one of the quick callouts here is that K2 was using both ritual shield and sword. Did take a little bit of a poke. Those will be swapped out here momentarily, I'm sure. But yeah, so I mean, when it comes to the thrusting sword matchup here, yeah, it's a game of chicken essentially. You know, one thing that is nice about thrusting sword at the very least is that you can play it more aggressively than most other weapons. And we got a little sauce and move coming out of here next. You know, doing like the feint away attacks. I do like that, but we do see now it's K2's turn to say running R2 time for me. You know, the jump attacks, I'm sure. Hey, look at that, more feints on the side. They're both I like to see both of them. They're not just sticking to just purely R1. You know, they're still utilizing more of the weapons move set. But
the
yeah,
R2s,
I mean,
the R2s are very, very interesting because they're a means in which to steal prio. Look at that, Mayweathering his way out of the corner there, his neck's really nice stuff. But it does seem as though K2 is right back on top of him again. But oof, nice.
Yeah, it's one of those. Okay, here we go. Oh, corner is always a scary place to be in, but like you said, Mayweathering their way out of it. Next did in fact was able to pull that off. But yeah, it seems like K2 is kind of still controlling that neutral a bit more. They also do have their bubble still, so they're holding on that health lead pretty handily right now. But a running R2, just placed at the right time, you can even up things pretty easily here. But now we see Nex already kind of preemptively just saying, fuck it, we ball blue feather tier. I'll worry about that later. We'll just have that on now. And we do see both players. Interesting that K2 is the only one that has opted for the spear talisman here, whereas Nex is sticking with the strength talisman. So that's an interesting option for me.
Oh, nice.
Of course, like I said, Nex just kind of sleeps my ass. So there's things that I don't know here. But 153 health to 542. This is a pretty close one. Now both players on their blue feather. Nice little strafe there from Nex. That's with that little health, like making plays like that. It's kind of but chose to aggress a little bit too much there, and K2 just said, "I'm gonna hit the button a little bit." And well done. It's 1-1. This is what the
this
first.
Is the first 1-1 we've had. Yeah, first 1-1 we've had so far in this bracket, and some really good stuff there from the side of K2. I'm really digging the use of the. I'm very much digging the use of the R2s and stuff like that to try and steal back prio, maybe catch people unawares that they are still very much in danger. But Nex is doing a good job of holding out that center, trying desperately to get those. Look at that, really nice run R2. Immediately resetting, read that there was a roll going to go through there, and just immediately flick a switch and he's right in on that pressure, but unfortunately too little too late. I still think the smartest thing Nex could have done is gotten just on the edge of tier and then waited out the tier. We don't really see either of these players really maneuvering around the tier all that much, but that we may see them kind of wake up to it because it's been a while since it's been legal in these tournaments. So I'm kind of fascinated to see how this is going to go. Again, the smartest move once the other person is close, when you have your tier popped and they're below your threshold, is just wait out that tier, play it passive, play it safe, only take safe attacks. I yap too much. Montage, shut me up. Get me playing. Get these two players going.
Round 3 starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Kaboom. Kabam. And LA. Yes, exactly. It's like a comic book. We need an Elden Ring comic book is what we need.
How? One of those?
Yeah, exactly. Like the original, the old Batman animation. That's what we need.
Yeah. Or we could go to like today's day and age. We could do Cars and do Ka-chow.
That would be so epic. But either way, what is epic though is both of these players are mashing into one another and getting some really nice lead here for the side of K2 once more. Maybe a little bit more of an optimized setup here, and it's definitely going to continue that build up there as the Fane comes out there just to try and get that catch as another trade comes out. Trying to catch there with this. Really nice showing as Nex is going to be clipped with the run R2. Ouch. As we are going to see both players now wiggling in neutral. passive PK action going on here as we do see that runner 2 come out there once more just to try and get that catch. Looking at this here, we 1 E-bolt, 2 E-bolts, 3 E-bolts.
Oh shit.
Yeah, big damage.
Big damage.
And look at this here, we are going to see the backswing come in there and manage to get some really nice damage there against K2. 900 HP, but still has tier. Are we going to see that patience pay off there as K2 is doing a really solid job there? Look at that, the whiff punish into another one. Both tiers now gone, both players within a hair's breadth of each other. Really nice showing there. Next is going to be clipped, but he's far from being shipped into another trade with the R2. Oh my god, and a backstab! K2, you demon! Into the bit of BM!
Made it personal.
Uh-oh.
What are you gonna do about it? Get your twit longer ready, okay? That's what I think should happen.
So, can we get ready here for the ex-player is toxic accusations number 552? I think that's a good idea. That's what I Google Doc. Do.
Get it started. Yeah. Make sure it has a good title too. That really draws the reader in.
That's it. Yeah, you have to start with an anecdote. So I started in this community.
Yeah, start with something vague. Yeah, like I can't believe they did this. ... And then, yeah.
This is why you're in marketing montage. Do you take commissions by chance?
Hey, I'm in it for the love of the game. You know, I just as long as it gets the fires, the flames brewing, I'm in. Get me in there.
Choose chaos, I think, this day. That's what we do.
Exactly. Patch one. Nope.
Dear God. All right. Well, that is that round. That totally didn't start a flame war. And now we're going to have Tacman versus Sip. I'm so excited to see Sippity Dippity play. I'm so excited. The original Frosty clone.
Yeah. I gotta say, seeing Sip, someone that's been around the block for a long time, like Unk over here, coming back, showing everyone, hey, I never left. I'm gassing him up too much preemptively. He might just get his ass whooped. I have no idea. But I have a feeling and hope in my heart that Sip is going to put on a show, as he has done many times. However, he's going up against Tacman, who is no slouch either. So really could go either way. And I really like that red player is just having a starfish moment here in the middle of this duel arena. You know, soak up the rays before... you know, you're ready to put on that show. And I do like that Sip, that throughout all of these years has stayed using the exact same fashion from start to finish. You know, there's definitely more optimal setups here in terms of fashion. But he said, nah, I'm here to look good and then also beat down people. So is that a coded, I think, right?
It looks like it's going to be coded. Are we going to see some absolute unhinged damage come out of this? Let's have a look, as it does say... Yeah. No, wait, that is definitely not right. Uh-oh. His build name is actually Saucy Wanted HTS, which I think is pretty based. And it does seem as though Tacman is going to be on a 164 as well, but he's calculated the level, I think, to 125, so it seems to be working okay. Everything seems to be working, I hope, I guess, maybe. Yeah, it seems fine. Okay, he seems to have fixed everything. Alright, we're...
Strength versus faith today. Tacman really leaning into these... Well, never mind. I was going to say, you could technically rock a Scorpion Talisman, but he does have the one off sword that is still going to have some physical damage there.
Yet the thing is that Tacman is going to go for that buff. He's going to swap onto double coded, and then he's going to just bring down the pain and suffering from on high by just nuking people down with some pretty crazy damage. The Sword of Light buff is insane at what it's able to do.
Yeah, no, that is very... Dang it, he put on the Claymore. I was really hoping Sip would just do the two-handed dagger memes, just R2 with Chinkata. But I don't think we're good. Just run up R2.
Don't give him ideas. Don't give him ideas.
Okay, but the fans need it, Enda. That's the thing.
So, someone's made a very good point. It's like, why the 28 endurance? Why? So this is an old style build. Most very old Elden Ring builds used to very much not go for very high endurance. Base endurance was more or less what people used to do. That was the old one. But either way, we have both of our players. Who won Nex versus K2? It was K2 in a 2-1. Here, I'll log it real quick. 2-1. Nex is in losers bracket, unbelievably. It's crazy. But either way, we do have both of our players in. Enough.
Count me in.
All right, ladies and gents.
Let's do it.
On a 3, on a 2. Oh wait, I did it wrong. Oh no. 3, 2, 1. Go. LA.
Boom. Okay, we do see a big. Is that the? Yeah, it is the volcano pod. I like that. That's a lot of area denial, but honestly, kind of didn't really work out in his favor because it just kind of gave Tacman still enough time to just use his beam of light. And you were correct that he did use the buff. Now going to both coateds, and I love the claymore here. You know, it's just such a classic. It's just such a classic weapon, like throughout all the Souls games. Oh, the follow-ups! Yeah. I wouldn't keep swinging. Gotcha. I do love that. But honestly, when Tacman does hit, I mean, it's gonna do a lot. And I look at that 2 swings, like, but I don't know. The Claymore still is doing Claymore things. Yeah, those R2s are still not to be messed with. But we do see I love the aggression for both these players right now. I love that Sip in this corner is swinging his way out. He says, "Come and get me. I am a juicy, just delicious little gazelle, and you're a lion. But also, call an ambulance. Not for me." Anyways, crouch R1. And yeah, I mean, Sip has like no problem just being in these corners, which is awesome. I love that. Like, doesn't care. We'll fight any place, anywhere. But okay, we do see the offhand dagger coming out, trying to get a little bit of chip damage in. Not so much.
Oh my lord!
HTS hard swap. That's a classic right there. HTS, they're kind of far. Hard swap it, running R2. That's a classic. We do see now the HTS gaming coming from Sip. I mean, this is something that he's definitely been known for. Okay, sword lance. Now we're just pulling everything out of the bag here, aren't we? Huh? Right? And we do see the R2 into R1 true combo that sword lance is definitely known and scared for. Yeah, it looks like Tacman is now kind of just hanging on the outskirts. Yeah, and there's the he didn't. That would have been a true combo if the R1 there. Yeah,
I believe so. As that R2 comes out, and I will have to just do
there we go. Check. Yeah, it doesn't matter though because coded is scary. And, oh my gosh, that did not get punished there. Both players are down so low. Tacman is a throwing knife away from dying here. Oh, what? I thought he hit that. So, what a crazy comeback from Tacman. Oh my gosh, what an anti-air.
Well, it does seem as though we've just done a double check here, and some of the chat is confirming. This isn't my rule set, so I'm not quite as familiar with it. This is, of course, more or less a copy-paste from ERPVP, and it does seem as though grease is banned on that particular heavy thrusting sword. And let me just double check that. Yeah, two-handed, no all greases. Let me just let Sip know. Sip.
Okay. We lost anyway, so good stuff to Tacman. Yeah, I mean, that was down to the wire. That was really, really good.
Match. Such a close match. And on Sword Lance, all buffs banned.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, Tacman's build is definitely still set up to nuke people as well. And that's one thing with that true combo that Sword Lance has. It has similar power output. But I mean, you do one incorrect roll, you got to really be making sure that you're playing up to snuff against a PSSS. Or you're just tanking a full health bar of damage.
So PSSS is kind of struggling right now for a whole lot of reasons, even with the amount of damage that it's able to output. Hang on a second, we have someone saying it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Is jank. Blame ERP. There we go. All right, we've confirmed. Rules can't affect me if I can't read. This is also true.
That's true, actually. That's a very powerful response to "Did you read the rules?" If you simply say "I'm illiterate," they're safe then, right? That's how that works.
Someone has said, never mind, actually, I'm not going to read that on stream. We'll come back to We'll cycle back to that one later. But yeah, the rule set is, the formatting is, I just copied ERPVP's formatting, so if there's any confusion, complain a crowned over and over again, I guess. Ideally. Specifically crowned. Ignore everyone else. It's specifically crowned. Alright, it does seem as though Sip has fixed his stuff. So we're in for round 2. Monte,
okay. I will
give me
count you in. Absolutely, big dog. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Beam away.
Kaboom, kabam, kaplowies. The Frostpot comes out there to get that, as we do see that first little bit of buff, and the Sword of Light is going to come out, but it does seem as though the LGS is going to be knocked out of the air. Flat on his ass. Oopsie daisy. Someone left a banana peel there. I can't believe it, as we are going to see that bit of a mash come out there from the side of Tacman, getting a really solid amount of damage. Dear God. As Sip is going to go for that jump into the R2, into a nice little bit of a mash once again, but we do see that second R2 managing to get poised there. Tacman here with a fairly substantial life advantage so far, about into the spin slash, but Sip is going to be caught in the corner. As we do see that immediate pressure here, some nice little bit of blending coming out there, trying to force Sip to roll. As we do see a jump over the top there, Sip going to be clipped in the face. Owie! Going for another standing L1 there from the side of Tacman, trying to get those catches. A jump over the top there, narrowly missing a hit, with Sip currently pretty far behind currently. As it swap over to Hallberg, my beloved. As we do see now, Sip forced into a corner. Here goes for a run R1. It is going to land from Kilo. Doubtless accusations of who's the laggard here coming out, as well as Sip is going to be roll caught into a standing R1. The whole dagger, but the back swing. Sending Sippity Dippity into loser's bracket. Back swing. That
was good stuff from Pikeman there.
Yeah, really nice stuff across the board, honestly.
So as you were saying, PSSS struggling, yeah?
Yeah, PSSS is struggling for one of the reasons is it's so reactable. And the corner pressure being quite difficult to manage to get in this game also means that its backswing is kind of not redundant. It is still a thing you have to be worried about, but against good players who play very reactively, you're going to struggle. You do, of course, as we're seeing here, the toggles coming out to get that speed boost and really force people to roll and force people to be worried, but that backswing from Kilo, we'll have to check on whether or not Tacman's FPS is over 60 now after that one. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, really solid work here from Tacman, and you know, to make PSSS work, even though it can absolutely, and I quote, shit damage.
Yes.
It doesn't really matter considering how reactable it is, and yeah, on latency you can force trades, but it's still not ideal. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh my.
Either way.
I wanted to call something out real quick in losers bracket. Barebones 2-0ing Mag Casual. That's a well done. Well done, Barebones. I was talking to Enda before this. I was like, yeah, you know, I kind of see Mag Casual. He's just been performing really well as of recent. Probably gonna go all the way, but wow, that's good. Good stuff from Barebones. Barebones having a great showing. You know, against Jack. Does get 2-0'd by Bevon, but the 2-0 on Mag that's commendable for sure. So. Well done progressing there. We also do see, it looks like for the round 3 that we have coming up, it's going to be Bevon Darcy is our next match. This
should be a fun one for sure. Bevon, of course, beastly as he is, going up against someone who is who really wants to win for reasons we've gone over earlier. So this should be an interesting one. A lot to lose here. Especially given the Darcy.
You can throw the match and then everyone wins, right? This is how that goes.
No, I don't want to be forced to embarrass myself publicly. Please, no, not again.
Just saying, that's on the table, you know, consider it. What's more valuable, $100 or a meow from Enda, you know? Consider the odds here.
Can we give a preview? No, that would be cheating. You're not allowed, Harper.
Yeah.
And again, the losers bracket, let's actually take a peek as we're waiting for both of these players. Bevon, Darcy. What's it first? Go 5. Alright, this is now going to be our first of the best of 5s currently. So that should be interesting. And then the losers bracket, now that my ADHD brain is working correctly, it's going to be Sip versus Jack, probably on currently, with Mag Casual and Nate. Mag Casual taking that, and Barebones, you were right. Damn, fair play to Barebones. That's pretty impressive, taking out Mag.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, Mag is a pretty he's a tough cookie, so 2-0ing is that's pretty big. Good shit.
Bevon, if you win, Enda give you a kiss. No, that is a lie. I'd do it anyway.
Yeah, he just does it for the love of the game. You don't need to be incentivized in any way, shape, or form.
But either way, we are going to move on now. It's going to be Bevon versus Darcy. Taking a look at the builds. It's going to be Bevon on that PSTS shenanigans once more on the Faith build versus Darcy Stronk rocking all of the things. I love Darcy for the simple reason that all of those item slots on your character are not a suggestion. They're very much a no. You have to use all of them. It's always the funniest thing. Always the funniest thing.
That is you do raise a good point there, in that you only have a limited number of slots to utilize. And honestly, it would be an insult to the game itself if you just didn't use them all. So Darcy read the rules, Bevon did not, but we'll see if his PSTS Catboy Gaming is going to take the win here, or if Darcy is going to gugs her little heart out.
All right.
Go ahead and count me in, Enda.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, we have Darcy in red, Bevon in blue. It's going to be one hell of a match. And on a 3, on a 2, and on a 1. LA.
Okay, so we started off. We do see some buffing of both weapons right now. It looks like the Ash of War buff from the side of Bevon there. So, I mean, these thrusting swords, while kind of being like great moveset, but a little lower damage, still gonna hit pretty hard right here. So right now I gotta say I do like Darcy's movement. I do like, oh, there we go, nice. Okay, didn't get 3, but 2 good crouch pokes from a Gugs. That's pretty good. That's a solid start. But here we go. We do see Bevon fighting his way back in. The biggest thing here is just choosing when you're gonna attack at the right time, because if you do let Darcy have the opportunity to read your aggression, that's a trade, and usually a trade that you're not winning. So right now Bevon does have to play careful, despite having the quicker weapon and the quote-unquote better solution to this kind of setup. But either way, both players have to play in a meticulous way to really pull out the win here.
There's a pretty bad problem as well.
They're just dancing, you know.
There's a really big problem here as well, Montage, with the PSTS, is that it's very much a poise chip setup, but it's not going to matter, as it does seem as that Darcy's just getting blendered here.
Swinging. Unga bunga swing big metal stick thing, and it's working out right now. I will say, though, we do see the health advantage from Bevon with still having their bubble. Oh my god, what a call out with that jump attack on the Sacred Blade there. Wow, okay, that really did even things up, and she got, what was that? That wasn't a, what's it called? God, I forget the name. It doesn't matter. Just 2 crouch pokes dead. That's the power of Gugs. Oh my, Darcy up 1-0 against Bevon.
Darcy.
That was like that the ending there just kind of it just felt like a slow quick death. I don't know how to describe it. It was just like, it was like, yeah, I got hit. Oh, okay, they're just gone. All right, sick.
It's pretty brutal here as well, because Bevon's poise chip here is going to kind of not quite be irrelevant, given that Darcy has that hyper armor that is going to be able to just reset that poise every time. It's one of the big problems people complain about hyper armor for, is that it relegates poise chip to no longer be an issue. But this is that was genuinely no. Okay, I'm rooting for Bevon now. I'm breaking my cardinal oath. I'm breaking my cardinal oath of not getting involved. Now I'm wishing for Darcy.
I mean, you saw that jump attack call out. I mean, you gotta, you have to consider what you're walking yourself into here with that bet that you made.
All right. Either way, we have both of our players in. Monty, would you do me the honors, sir?
I sure can. In 3, 2, 1. Also, Darcy doesn't use the Crimson Amber talisman, by the way. So that's a 300 health difference that she just doesn't have, and she still took. That's cool. Sorry. Anyways, continue.
She barely swaps as well, which is another thing. I think there's one talisman swap that she's likely to do at all at any given time, which is all the more impressive considering she's fighting against arguably one of the best North American players in the world currently, which would the world does actually encapsulate all of North America, so that's a little bit. But either way, we do see
so true,
that empty jump over the top there as Darcy's going to take a lot of damage. Good roll out there from the side of Bevon. Darcy, though, keeping center, still has a life deficit all the way through here as we do see these stutter steps coming through the run R2. As we do see the reset there coming out from the side of Bevon, is going to elect to roll that run R2 as we are going to see now. Good roll up, but unfortunately Bevon's going to be clipped. As Bevon's going to be clipped once more into the standing R1. Into a trade once more. Bevon goes for the jump, but unfortunately... the MMA coming out here on the side of Darcy is going to clip him for quite a little bit of damage as she is going to be clipped herself. Good roll into the corner there. Another roll once more as Bevon is going to set up now for some shenanigans and beautiful whip punish, but he walks into the standing R1 and the R2 comes out there as Bevon's going to set up for some shenanigans. The Earthshaker!
Oh my god.
Earthshaker rounds going down Batterisa as we do see now the reset into neutral here. Darcy's currently behind. Bevon goes for the roll.
Doesn't get the punish.
Doesn't get the punish here as Darcy's going to go for that CR1, and that's going to be forcing a 1-1. Jeez to both.
I gotta say, she's scrapping.
You know, scrap is the right word.
Yeah, she's taken a lot of these power stance thrusting sword hits just on the face and just saying "grah, big weapon swing," and it's working, and I like it. Honestly, they're like. It just looking without looking at the health bar from what I saw, I almost would have thought she was winning there with how many of those trades that she was able to walk away from. But it is that kind of death by 1,000 cuts that you do with. That's crazy that didn't land there. But either way, no. I mean, both players just putting on a show right now. I'm loving. This might be my favorite matchup so far for the entire tournament. So I'm with it.
Yeah, the PSTS here is struggling. I've mentioned it before. The poise reset's really giving it a hard time to go into that mashu, and very, very close to actually getting that hit there was the side of Darcy and the Earthshaker going down battery coming in there from the side of Darcy.
Oh, bravo.
A really, really good stuff. But either way, enough yapping. I have to stop yapping.
Hey, I'm going to catch you in it. How about that?
That sounds dangerously like a plan, sir.
Alrighty. In a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Let's go, gamers.
And the bolt is out. The players are having a little bit of a pre-gaming drinky. As we do see the Rot Pot going to go a little bit wide. Not making it into the national baseball team after that one, I'm afraid, Darcy. Although it is quite a big ball. So I will give you that much. As we do see the jumps as Darcy manages to clip Bevon there with the standing R1. As we are going to see Bevon now skedaddle into neutral there. Managing to get the JL1 to get that catch. Darcy trying to go for a punish there. But alas, it's not to be as our run R2. Nice. Managing to clip Bevon.
Claws!
The claws.
What the hell?
Apt, considering the kitty cat does actually have some claws here on this one, as we do see a CR1. A jump over the top into a free-aimed L1.
What a leapfrog.
As we do see that free-aimed Sacred Blade running a little bit high on that one, as Darcy is still very much in this fight. A couple more trades here, and she's still very much in it, but the tier is gone. Bevon still has his, as a jump in from the side of Bevon comes in. Empty jump there from out on the side of Darcy. A pivot, not going to be punished, though, by Bevon. Giant hunt into a loading screen.
Try, right? You got to try.
If it landed.
And it would have been sick. I gotta say, Darcy has incredible spacing, but there is a decent amount of risk that you're putting yourself in with these jump attacks with these power stance thrusting swords. I mean, it's a hitbox that stays out for a long time, and it is a thrusting weapon at the end of the day, so it's gonna have that long range. And yeah, there's been a couple times where it looks like she was kind of confident. Oh, I'm just gonna space this perfectly, but just narrowly getting hit by one, and then with the poised chip, you might get hit by the second one. So yeah, it's I think cleaning it up, she still took the first one, so it's like
that's
a game is a
impressive.
game, a round is a round, right?
Impressive,
yeah.
And we're still in it. There is still a tournament to happen. Oh me, oh my, as we are now on to round 3. No, round 4, sorry. In this first 2-3. Monty, will I count you in, sir?
Please do, me lord.
Oh, I dare say, sir. A 1. A 2. And I dare say, a 3 as I sip my tea.
Scrumptious jolly good show. We have 2 blokes here ready to slog the shit out of one another. We see the red one right here absolutely poking the ever-living shit out of this Azul-looking individual. And we do see a kick in a box. Very good. This is a British good show happening. We do see them controlling neutral and the other one trying to roll out, but we see some responses not quite getting it. Gonna go for a bit of a leapfrog today. Oh, no, sirree. Anyways, we do see in the corner. Does get a little bit of the response back to it. Can't take one more hit. It would be absolutely tragic if that were to have another trade happening. We do see the kickboxing offhand could come out at any moment. Does try to read the aggression. Doesn't get it. Oh, no. But there it is. Yes, and a kick in the face. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Your jaw is made of glass. Good show.
Jolly good, sir. I dare say it was absolutely an exquisite Canterbury Games going on down there. Absolutely exceptional.
I do dare say good.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what that was. Sorry, guys.
I don't know what that was either, but I'm very happy I was here to witness it. Damn, what a round, though. Bevon absolutely struggling to find his footing after the sheer aggression here that Darcy was able to put out in the middle of that. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal stuff there. And in a what I would still consider to be a pretty losing matchup, she has locked the frickin' frick in.
Oh, yeah. That was
what
what a turnaround.
Managing to catch them with the martial arts and a drop kick to the jaw to finish it out. I hope one day one of you experiences shame. Thanks, Dragon. Don't worry, we're working on it.
That's a myth. That's a myth. Big Pharma wants you to believe shame exists.
But this is match point. Holy moly.
Speaking of Big Pharma, a lot on the line with this next one here. So, I'm going to count you in, Enda. Let's see where this goes. In a 3, in a 2, in a 1. Allez.
Bolt is out. Physics have been drunk, and the blade has had a couple of Hail Marys put onto it, making it hit extra hard. That's in your catechism, by the way, as Darcy's trying to go for that nice little bit of a hit there. But we do see the blocks coming out now from the side of Darcy. As we do see now a whiff punish coming out now once more. Bevon going for a press, not going to land. Darcy is, of course, forcing match point here. As we do see a roll attempt there as Bevon's locked in himself now. Going for that nice roll in into the R2. But Darcy's so low now. The backstab grab is definitely tragic. As we do see that R2 trying to come out now, but not able to do it. As we do see an empty jump over the top now once more. And the swap over onto the ritual sword talisman to get that extra little bit of damage there on the side of Bevon.
Not looking good for Darcy. She has not landed a hit yet.
It's pretty tough as Bevon realizes he has to lock in for this 20 HP. The backstab, but the grab is going to kill.
It's kill.
No. Into that. Dear Lord. Cold.
No meow for you guys.
Well, we don't know yet. There's still all of losers.
I was just saying, there's still a losers bracket going, and honestly, Darcy's playing hot. Just saying, so it's not off the table, you know. But yeah, good stuff. Honestly, I mean, that was. I think we could all agree. That you know, maybe perchance fight of the tournament. I would say I'm gonna put my stamp of approval on that at the very least. That was sick.
That was really, really solid stuff there from Darcy. Like, to not only go up against arguably one of the best players in the bracket, but also to force that 2-2 on on the opposite of a winning matchup, a bad matchup, I would say, for the Gugs. Yeah. And to do that well, really, really solid stuff. There's a reason there's a bunch of people in this chat shouting for Darcy right now. Absolutely exceptional stuff. Frickin' G's to the pair of you for a really, really solid match. You brought out the British accent in both of us. That's how good that match was.
That was yeah. Something just took over my body. I felt like I was just like a puppet on strings, and I couldn't. I didn't know what was happening. You know. But yeah. Hey, next match, K2, Tacman.
Yes, sir. as I'm just
if you're going to the casino, where are you putting your bets right now?
Also, if one of the mods wants to set up gambling, please do go for it, because
gambling is so awesome.
I love Gamba.
Yeah. I think it should be legal everywhere, and for kids. I think that's what.
That's next to cigarettes as being my current
exactly. Fuck it, like why not go up the whole chain? Meth. Let's see where this takes us. Where would society be if we unlocked our full potential?
All right. Well, it does seem as though one of our players, Tacman, okay, he managed to fix it. He's still 125. He's 125. I will ask that he properly fix his build. All the stats match up perfectly to what it should be, but just do fix your build next round, please. Thank you. Love you. All right. Either way, let's take a quick look at the builds, and then we'll be able to crack on with the rest of it. So there we go. Look at the builds. Wow.
Unemployment core. Shut up. All right. K2 Tacman. I will say from what we're seeing here from, Tacman 2-0 and SIP. That's nuts. K2 has also just been playing extremely strong. Nex is also playing super well as well. So this one almost feels like a coin flip. Every time I see these two, because I've seen these two fight in bracket a couple times, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, and it really does seem like it's just who's feeling themselves more that day, right? But no, Tacman looked really good against SIP. I don't know, but just looking at the bracket here, just kind of taking a peek down at losers here, we do see SIP losing to Jack. Wow. Okay, interesting. Jack moves on to fight next.
Interesting.
And winner of that fights Darcy. Very interesting. Sorry, back to this game. Halberd and PSSS. All right,
the classic matchup almost. So this should be pretty exciting. I'm kind of interested in this one. K2 on the Hall Axe as usual, and Tacman rocking this absolutely nuclear damage setup. So this should be kind of interesting. But either way, give us the count in, Monty.
Absolutely can do. In 3, in 2, in 1.
Kaboom! Bolt is out. Players are getting ready, and after this match, we are going to take a quick break, folks, as we do see the Sword of Light buff manage to come through. Good duck, dive, dodge, and weave from the side of K2 there, who just about manages to get out of that, earning the, if you can dodge a wrench, you can most certainly dodge some sparkly magical nonsense. Really good stuff here from the side of K2 as a running R1 comes out there from the side of K2 and Tacman going for that jump over the top there as the off-axe there is going to push him into the corner as the off-axe is just going to go ham. Oh my lord, the
nightmare scenario. We'll say if it was the other way around against the PSSS,
this match would be over. Oh god.
You just lose, you just give up.
You drop the controller, you watch the health bar disappear and go, ugh. But as we see,
you do an 07.
Boot up another game, I reckon, after that one.
Yeah,
but it does seem as though the off-axe is going to get the anti-air there into a standing R1. Good rollout there, comes out there from the side of K2, who is going to mash you, and manage to get out of that. 2,300 all the way to 788 here on the side of Tacman, which is not a place you want to be, but keep in mind the damage that these PSSS are going to be able to leverage here. This could very quickly even out. As a run R1 is going to land, the tier is gone. Tries to go for a standing R1 just to catch the end of that roll, but unfortunately Tacman is smarter than your average bears. We are going to see a punish attempt there. Really good reaction rolls coming out there from the side of K2, who does not want to be trading into those PSSS, but with that health disadvantage... Look at that, evened out in the Godskin Swaddling proc there, just to keep that nice and even as a good rollout comes out from K2. Look at that, Tacman really facing up, squaring off, trying to get that intimidation factor to try and force a roll there, as a whiff is going to attempt to be punished there from the side of Tacman, but it's not to be, as we do see K2 here still skedaddling about. Another hit there is going to break that tier. I think even a half hit might break that tier, as we do see now. That's it, the tier is gone into a trade!
Oh!
35 to
It's go anyway.
363. This is actually super close. Into the backhand blade one-handed. But it's not going to matter. GG, shake the hand. That is going to be a match in the favor of K2. And there's some aggression here.
Little pot action going on here. He's already dead, man.
Not happy. It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
It's only a game. I do like the America's Braid coming out on the side of K2 there. I would imagine that did probably soak up a decent amount of the incoming damage from these codeds. But yeah, no, I mean, so we have K2 taking round 1.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what was I don't know, what would you say is like some, I don't know, dude, that trade at the end, like K2 almost was just like, all right, I got the lead, and then you take your foot off the pedal for 1 second, and then look at, there was like 1,000 damage that I think he did right there, or at least like 600.
There's so much. So the thing about this particular setup that Tacman is on is you really do not want to trade into it. It is going to win those trades. I mean, we've seen even low HP, there was an insane amount of damage that came through, and that absolutely twisted. And it does seem as though the swaddling cloth, according to Bevon, has said that the swaddling cloth has more or less taken him out of the blue feather range, meaning that one hit was enough to kill, which is kind of crazy. But look at the damage in this interaction, dude. Absolutely nuts. But either way, we're going to crack on with the rest of it. Monty, will I count you in? Do you want to be counted in? Be okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have K2 in blue, Yabba Dee Yabba Die, Tacman in red, and on a 3, on a 2, and a 1, Ali.
Okay, let's see how Tacman responds here. Okay, we do see. Oh, gets behind. Oh, that would have been so nuts. That was a bit of a confident sort of light there. So good on Tacman there for at least, or sorry, K2 for trying to at least get a little bit of a backstab punish there. You know, you lose nothing by not getting it. So yeah, both players, they get in there a little bit of hits in, and you know, we are seeing the beginning of the match talisman swaps. Good catch there from the off axe. You know, that's one of the reasons why it is so good. I mean, you have the poise damage that it does, the speed that it is, and then also the fact that it can also catch jumping people. I mean, it just really is arguably the most versatile offhand weapon you can have. So, gosh, and look at that. He's just basically being a hand axe main here with leading with that, which, you know, in the halberd setup, that is, you know, kind of I've been told before, a smarter way of thinking about it. I think it was actually you that told me.
I would never. So. I know nothing about halberd. I don't know what you're talking. I haven't mained that godforsaken setup since launch, trust. Oh, nice.
That's
actually,
so true.
Really nice interaction there. Look at that damage.
Yeah. And there it is. Like, I mean, oh my, this is not looking good for K. Oh, almost got a backstab of his own. But yeah, I mean, you have 100 health here against a straight sword. Yeah, that's just a match, a game that you're around that you just kind of toss. You know, it is what it is. You know, you figure out exactly what you can and can't get away with, and that puts us at 1-1. So I do like that in this these round 3s. You know. They haven't been blowouts, you know, and that's typically how it goes. But you know, you like seeing the cream of the crop boiled to the top. You know?
I will say it is very funny that K2 went for that little bit of BM at the end there, and now is immediately paying for it. I think that might have been a little bit of a
true combo. That's how it goes.
Talk shit, get hit, kind of a mentality here, I think. But yeah, that's pretty nasty. And look at that there, the standing R1 to finish it off. Which if that wasn't, and then the little spin. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. You love it. Karma is a bitch. But either way, in this 1-1, Monty, are you at the ready, sir?
Mm-hmm. I sure am.
There's the count in.
And, in 3, in 2, in 1.
And the bolt is out. The physics are drunk. Having a little sippy sip before the fight begins, and he eats the entire. Not getting the backstab, though. Unfork bestie, as we do see that off axe mash coming through there on the side of K2. Tacman is at a life deficit, but nearly. And the ice spear, my beloved. God, I remember when that used to break shields. As Tacman is taking a lot of damage here to the standing R1. We are going to see that good roll forcing a little bit of a mistake, as we do see now the standing R1 managing to get that. Looking at that, the CR1 and trades left and right. A little bit of a scrappy match coming out here as we do see that good punish into the backswing from the side there of Tacman.
That damage.
That is insane. It is absolutely nauseating the amount of damage that these swords are able to do, pretty much evening this one out. As we do see the run L1 coming out there into a... Uh-oh. We're seeing the lock in.
Oh, no.
No. Backswing to actually connect there, unfortunately, though. As we do see now the swap over to the backhand blade into another trade.
Oh!
That's going to be Tacman taking it once more.
Okay.
Interesting swap choice to go for the backhand blade one-handed there as a finisher, which makes sense. It can cover a hell of a lot of ground.
I was going to say, I am curious about the decision to do that instead of something just like a classic option, like a Starfist or something, right? But you are right that it does have it just goes far, like, and it kind of stays out. So yeah, I get it. I understand it. But yeah, I don't really see a lot of people do that, so that's cool.
It's nice to see different players all have preferences. Like, I know there's a few players who I could almost guarantee would go for the HTS or Run R2 swap for a last hit. There's a few other bits and pieces. What's the new one on the menu now? It's the off-stock main wacky or something along those lines. There's also another good finisher, a PSTS, which will be my favorite. Either way, we have both players in. Monty, would you do the honors of counting me in, bestie?
I sure can. In 3, in 2, in 1.
Bolt is out. Physics are drunk. And the Sword of Light is going to come out one more, getting an absolute nuke here on the side of K2. Still hasn't gotten that backstab. I'm not sure if it's backstabbable as that trade comes through. And the halberd trades, ringing through in a double roll out to get away from it. You can understand why you'd want to double roll that one as an empty jump comes out there. Still on the Sword of Light, off-coded, as we are going to see now some really good damage come out there. K2 trying his best to get as much damage in as possible, not trying to risk these trades, because he cannot take them. It is as simple as, even if we start trading from here, I don't think it's going to matter as the off-axe comes out, Garrett getting a little bit of a hit in as an empty jump over the top there. Beautiful space and punish there comes out as Tacman is going to be forced back, goes for a roll in into the halberd, which is dangerous, and with that off-axe there as another crazy amount of damage comes through. As we see a toggle there just to get that speed boost. Rolling L1s coming out here from Tacman.
Both players neck and neck right now with health.
Pretty much. I think both tiers are gone as well. I can't tell, my monitor is being funky, but this is a close match. There's another roll in. Beautiful punish there, calling out the off-axe. My man's going hatchet mad over here, but it does seem as though the life advantage is very much here on the side of Tacman. Beautiful into another trade.
Oh, yeah, I mean, one more. All it takes is one more L1.
A jump L1. Not quite, but the backswing comes through.
I lied, too.
And the shit pod talk shit. Get
but he bowed. It. Okay, does that cancel it out? He bowed.
The bow afterwards is the most important part, but yeah, that is going to be it. That is all she wrote, and I think we're going to get the most important part of this match to come out in this one here.
Well done, Tacman. Yeah, I mean, they're showing that, power stance straight swords are, they may be a shadow of their former self, but they're still, you can't sleep on them either, especially the double coated setup, right? That's traditionally always been a terrifying choice, especially if you're going to choose this setup. For length, just for damage, and then the poop pot. I mean, it was beautiful, cinematic, start to finish.
Cinematic, truly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of that particular round. Wowzers. Wowzerinos. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And it does seem as though Darcy has said she's been knocked out, so I am now safe for another day. Excellent. I have never rooted for your demise before. But GG's, everyone. Wow. Well played so far. We're going to take a quick break, but Montage, do you have anything to say?
Thank you for putting up with British Montage for about 2 minutes. That was neat.
2 minutes too long, I think. That. 2 minutes too long, I reckon.
So I apologize, but please hold off on the Google Docs and the Twit longers. I will apologize profusely.
I think it's grovel at that point, isn't it? More so
yeah. I'll be on my hands and knees. Please don't. Yeah.
All right, well, stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. And remember, you can go check out the Bronda Goat for the losers bracket, which is going on right now. But we will chat you all shortly. And we'll chat you for the winners bracket finals before we move on to the rest of the tournament. Ladies and gents, chat you in 5. Bye-bye. Oh my God. Chat,
Jackie.
is this real? I'm joined once again with the amazing, the wonderful, it's Montage. Monty, give us your thoughts. Do you have any thoughts?
No, never. But
okay.
I will say, that stupid question. But I will answer it seriously and say that no, I think. Hopefully, I speak for a lot of people here when I say that. Yeah, I mean, this has been a really fun tournament. We've got to see some new faces. We've got to see the wonderful beatdowns of round 1 and 2. But of course, getting into this round 3 and beyond here, we've been seeing a lot more closer fights. Again, I have to give a big shout out to Darcy and Bevon, who really put on a show in round 3. And it does look like you are safe. Darcy was knocked out by Nex, so no meowing for you, sir. But don't think this is off the table. You know, this will come back to haunt you in the future. The people are going to overwhelmingly mob up, torch and pitchforks in hand, saying, "When's the meow coming?" You know, they're going to have their champion Darcy do it. It will come. So just know that you're not in the clear yet, Bucko.
It'll be Tarnished edition before that happens. Don't worry, because
which is going to be announced at the end.
Obviously, yeah. The guy who's been incredibly hostile to Bandai the entire time has access to the insider information.
That's just called garnering respect, Enda. That's how it works. That's how business works.
Asserting dominance.
And speaking of business and how that works and asserting dominance, we have Bevon and Tacman here. Tacman has just been absolutely just killing it all tournament. And then, of course, there's Bevon, who's just Bevon, so that's a whole beast in of itself. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think this is going to be good. I think I personally believe that Tacman can absolutely pull this off, and I'm excited to see how it does. I mean, again, he has these. It's more of a straight sword or a straight forward setup with having these power stance straight swords, which obviously Bevon has fought a million times. So, he's going to definitely have the secret sauce there in terms of how to deal with it. But all that to say,
in honesty,
roll bad ones. Bye.
Yeah, take an awful lot of damage. I think it's going to be interesting here that Bevon's halberd play is always fun to watch because it's very pressure oriented. He's going to take pressure. He's going to continue doing it. Runner one, and then he's going to just mash with the off axe once he has someone in the position where he's comfortable. So, kind of neat, kind of cool. I'll be curious to see how this one goes, and it looks like both of them are pretty much on identical builds, except the Lionel's pants. Not Bevon's style, by the looks of things. But either way, we will have both of our players now in just a second, because someone didn't leave World on time earlier. Cringe.
I will say Tacman does kind of have the warm up into the halberds fight, because that was literally his last matchup was that. So
oh my God, is he on all stock? Oh my God, he's on Hallstock!
Looking like it's a man after your own heart.
I love you, Bevon. Alright, either way, in my totally impartial...
Say back.
Will I count you in, sir?
I think you may, my good man.
I dare say, sir. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, first of all, thank you to the anonymous gifter. You're absolutely incredible. But ladies and gents, on a 3, on a 2... and on a 1. LA!
And they are off. Yeah, so we are going to see... Oh! Wait, actually, both land. Wait, why is Tacman at half health right now? Is that like a bug?
That might be a bug. I'm not sure.
Evan's cheating. He did a damage hack. That's not right.
Ah, there we go. I fixed it. There we go. Sorted, fixed, have it, happy out. There we go. As we see the switch over.
I still like to think that the most consistent man is actually just a big cheater. Well, it doesn't matter. We have Starfist anyway, so that's pretty neat. So right now, it looks like both players have actually brought it up. They've evened it here. We are going to see those talisman swaps. Ooh, you do see the Pearl Drake talisman as well as the America's Braid on Tacman's side. So, or no, that should be back. Huh? I guess they're both doing Faith, it looks like. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense. But anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, so right now, Bevon with a very commanding lead here. It looks like the bubble's going to be popped any second from now from Tacman, and on cue, it is right there. Bevon still holding on to his. Big L1's coming in, chasing down Bevon. Both players definitely able to scrap here, and I do like to see that Bevon is still sticking to a setup that he is very much comfortable on with these Starfists. Got him in the corner! The nightmare scenario! Okay, got out of it, gave Tacman a little bit of a window, and both of them are just scrapping, but Tacman is just...
that is damage.
They evened it up a little bit. That's 357 to 535. Right now, both players on their tiers, and oh my gosh!
Shit.
He can run out the clock. He could, in theory, run out the clock. Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter. He got his bullets. Really good stuff. But oh my gosh, it's down to like a 50-60 in the running halberd. He had nowhere to run. Being in that corner, Bevon takes it, pokes him in the back. Says, hello, round 1 goes to me. Try again next time. But honestly, I mean, look, that wasn't like a dominating, win, right? That was back and forth. Both players are absolutely. It's like if one gets a little bit of an inch, guess what? The other guy's getting an inch as well. So I love it.
Costing him so much HP.
Unironically used here to potentially gain the win. And yeah, wow. So. Great work on Bevon, by the way, because Tacman hasn't really, outside of like BMing people, Tacman hasn't used the shit pod like as an actual weapon yet. So yeah, it's good on Bevon to always having his bullet swap immediately, just in case for the off chance that some type of status effect projectile did come. So he was able to get that off. Otherwise, I mean, Tacman could have easily ran him out, but either way. Explosive round 1. We now have round 2. I'm going to count you in, Enda.
Yes, sir. Give us the go-ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Allay as the flasks are drank, as the blades preyed on. And both players actually taking a really nasty hit in that start there, which is kind of interesting, as we are going to see Bevon here play a much more cautious game, really trying to set up there for those jump attacks. We're going to see that jump L1, the jump R1s coming, jump L1s, and the best way to deal with them on Halberd is, of course, that run under Brave, showing here from the side of Bevon, who is going to unfortunately whiff as we see another roll out there. Good free aims once more as we do see that off stock just get that nice hit. Tries to set up for another, but Tacman is just going to press into him as we do see Bevon bait out a little bit of a roll there. As we do see a strafe, really nice stuff here from the side of Tacman, who is not going to be able to capitalize on that corner pressure. Turnarounds coming out from Tacman here, but as you've seen, the poise chip has come out and the immediate swap over onto the Starfist here to guarantee that break. As a jump R1 comes out, good rollout though from Bevon. Not going to be punishable though by the straight swords unless we see some good play, but are actually managing to get away with it there as we see the swap back over onto the Halberd. Again, that off stock, just the love taps on the way out into that Starfist is a really nice play here from the side of Bevon as a standing R1 comes out there. Another one, but he is going to be punished.
Around it.
As another reset there, trying to get into that. Oh my god, the backstab here from the side of Bevon. He 110% into the edge walk.
Edge walk at him.
Into another trade.
Tacman, don't let this man do that to you. Throw another shit pot.
As we see now over onto the fist once more. Jump R1, but a turn away into an R2 that comes out there from the side of Bevon once more. And we see the swap back over into the Halberd. Trying to get that into another standing R1 there just to try and get those punishes in. Into another one. Really nice patience here from the side of Tacman, going for those baby jumps to try and make Bevon expect something in the standing R1. Run outs into the standing R1s. Beautiful stuff. Textbook Halberd play here on the side of Bevon. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I gotta say, Bevon up 2-0, like that was a great showing, but he did edge walk on Tacman, which means Tacman wins the next one for free. How it works. So I do love the players, giving the other player an opportunity to make sure it's not a blowout. So well done to Bevon for that. Yeah, no, but I mean, in all seriousness, yeah, that was sick. I love the way that he ended. That's just textbook reading a player's movements and just getting those roll catches. I mean, it's what we know and love when it comes to Halberd gaming.
Yeah, look at that. The little stutter step out there to try and force the roll, moves back in there. He always has that option select of like going for the off stock just to get those little pokes in. He doesn't really have access to the thrusting damage, which I think has actually given him the key advantage here. He just has a raw damage. He doesn't have to play for trades, and he's not going to win them
I
anyway.
didn't see a lot of thrusting sword usage, really. Like
He's more or less going for the run attacks and then getting the backswing, or going for that just to get the poise chip for the swap over to the fists, which is epic and cool, and I'm going to steal it if I ever play this video game again. Either way, we have both players in. Monty, give us the count in.
In 3, in 2, and 1.
Match point here for Bevon, and it could very well be a sweep as we see the knives are out. The daggers in men's smiles as we do see that run R1 there. Good strafe there from the side of Tacman. Good, nice showing there as a roll comes out from Bevon just in case. As we do finally see that trade come through. Aim downs there just to try and get that extra little bit of range. Going to be needed in the attempts to space or strafe there from the side of Tacman. As we do see now that empty jumps coming in there, forcing the roll there from the side of Bevon. Tacman going for that once again. Good roll though as we see Bevon. Bevon hasn't been hit yet. This is a really nice showing here from him as we are going to see those CR1s not going to hit though, as we do see another attempt to get that hit there as another roll comes out there from Bevon. Tacman struggling to land those hits that he so desperately needs, and finally he manages to go for it. Bevon caught in that backstab pressure as the Sacred Blade comes out to get that extra little bit of damage.
Point blank, baby.
Oh yeah, do not want to tank that as we do see that off-stock come through into a nice little bit of a hit, but he can't really afford to go for that mash there as we are going to see Bevon hit once more, not able to find his footing here, and this one forced into the corner. But he manages to get out for free pretty much. Tacman maybe out of stam, not willing to actually force him into that corner. As we do see just insane damage coming out there into a loading screen. Really nice stuff.
Now, when we want to talk about commanding wins, that felt like a commanding win. But as we all said, the script told us that was what was supposed to happen. Again, edge walk, lost next round. Look.
You may have...
I don't even have to pretend I have a crystal ball. We all saw that coming.
Montage, you're out here gazing into the Palantir to see the future on that one. That's definitely interesting. But yeah, the BM into that is oof. Oof, a nasty round here for Bevon. I'm just kind of confused. Is it just the fact that there was just unyielding aggression here? Bevon not allowed to find his footing and just kind of caught in? I'm curious because it seems like a mental thing, but those backstab... feigning backstab pressure there is really nice to try and force that roll so you can actually get the hit in that you need to. But either way...
confirming that and conditioning that was really, really good. But let's see if Bevon walks away with it or if Tacman ties it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. 2-1 in the favor of Bevon, who is in blue. Tacman in red. On a 3. On a 2. And on a 1. Alaise.
Okay, and we're going to see if that was just a one-off thing, if that was really just what the script called for, or if Tacman has really found his footing. But, I mean, look at this player. That's a fantastic start for Bevon right there. Yeah, I mean, look, he just needed to make sure the script was fulfilled. Look at this Starfist gameplay. What a massive lead to start the game. But it is the power stance, straight swords, nice running R1. Almost got the stutter step R1 again. Doesn't quite hit it, and we do see, oh my gosh, he is just catching all of this aggression. I mean, the aggression from Tacman last game was kind of the key to his victory, and now Bevon with a one-round switch has started to figure out that I'm just gonna abuse this, so great stuff to Bevon. And I like it. Oh my!
That jump
that
over
was
the
sick.
top.
That was sexy. I like that jump. That was cool. The backstab whiff into the punish on the side of Tacman. But we do see Bevon again, just kind of holding forward here, and he still has his bubble on Bevon's side. This is a mountain for Tacman to get up, but the Starfist, it's coded. It's coded damage. You can't just say, yeah, this is free. I mean, look at that. And he's, oh my gosh, 562. This went from a complete win from Bevon to now it's a game. So
oh my god, 66 HP.
It's Jover. Oh my gosh, what a tie up from Tacman. Oh my gosh, that was sick. Hell yeah. I love Elden Ring PvP.
BM into a loading screen. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. You came for it. You seen the drama. A little bit of BM.
I gotta say, I mean, that comeback was just so legendary because, I mean, look, Bevon has arguably the best weapon to finish off a game. That was Bevon's game to absolutely take. And he just completely fought back. And that jump hit with the Sacred Blade. I mean, that had to have been an unlock, no? To get it that high? Because it looked like Bevon was at like the peak of his jump there.
I think so. I'm not actually sure off the top of my head. But
if that was an unlock and that was the difference, that's insane. But yeah, okay, hey, final match is yours. I'm going to count you in. What a nuts matchup.
All right.
In 3, in 2, and in 1.
And away we go. As we are going to see Hallstock out once again here from the side of Bevon. And the Sacred Blade comes out now, but he's in punishment range. Good roll, though, from the side of Bevon. And the Offstock comes in there. He's going to see that swap over onto the fist now once more. Oh, look at that there. Tries to go for that R2. But a PSSS is just a little bit too spooky to try and go in for, as we are going to see that attempt to get that roll catch there. Good roll from Bevon now once more. The run-unders from Bevon here once more, as we are going to see that Halberd manage to get that hit. Good patience, though, from the side of Tacman. And Bevon is getting some really good damage, as we are going to see now that runner won the pivot! Punished beautifully! Oh, and there we go, the off-stock chip now into the Starfist once more. Oh, the aim! Aimed the wrong way. That is just tragical here from the side of Bevon, as we do get that reset now. Setting up now into a little bit of a trade there, as we see Tacman is very, very low. There is a tier skip opportunity here for Bevon if he manages to land that R2. As we do see the swap over onto Hallax. Into the R1 goes for the backswing there, but it's not to be, as we are going to see Bevon now walk up into that run under. Classic Bevon strat into the trade. 1300 HPs to spare. Good God, and the immediate. I'm out of here. I'm going to take my break. I'm going to eat my dinner, drink my coffee, put my feet up, and watch the losers finals after this one. Beautiful stuff here from the side of both of our players. Tacman played his heart and soul out. Bevon taking the win in a 2-2. Absolutely incredible stuff. That was a really solid match there on kind of the classic matchup. Look at these run-unders here that Bevon is going for. I know that they're very, very easy to catch people out. And GG's. Well played. Absolutely phenomenal match.
Yeah, I mean, Bevon is just having such fun matches to watch. Like, even in the game against Barebones, where he 2-0'd Barebones, like those were still close matches. They were clutch wins. And obviously we saw the fantastic game between, him and Darcy. And now another 3-2 with Tacman. I mean, yeah, like everyone is just putting up such phenomenal matches, and Bevon just, one of his like core values, or values not the right word, but like something that really defines Bevon as a player is consistency. And I mean, even if you have it 2-2 and stuff like that, if there's someone that's had the nerves to really clutch out these situations, Bevon has been in that seat multiple times, throughout his Elden Ring tournaments. But we also have to say, I mean, look, Tacman's not out of it yet. Looks like he's gonna go down 2 losers to take on Nex, who Nex actually 3-0'd K2, which is nuts. But I mean, phenomenal work. Both players adapting to, like, hey, I'm gonna spend this round being a little bit more passive. I'm gonna spend this round conditioning you more. I'm gonna spend this round being really aggressive. Just really mixing up their play style to try to at least get a little bit of an advantage on the other player. I mean, just good stuff from both players.
No, it was a good showing, and the Halberd play here from Bevon is pretty classic. I'm always a massive fan of the run-unders against the PSSS run R1. Really, really nice. And of course, the swapping over to Fist to guarantee that poise break on the run R1 is really, really smart play. I have to say, really good showing. Exciting to see. I'm pretty excited to see what Bevon's going to rock in the finals, because again, he does have 2 attempts at whatever, so he's guaranteed to have 2 matches out of it. So I'm pretty stoked to see how that's going to come out. But either way, we're just waiting now on both of our players, Tacman versus Nex. Let me just get these players pinged up in here. Nex at, and there we go. And what is the bronze match? Both of these players are going to run away with something of a prize here. And Bron to go, thank you again. Big shout outs to Bron for hosting Losers Bracket for us today. Absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
Oof.
Bron really being the GOAT with helping out with Losers. And God, I mean, I want to go back and watch some of these matches. I'm again, new guy on the block, JackTech, knocking out an old head like Sip that's really cool to see. Barebones 2-0 Mad Casual. I mean, looks like a lot of people were playing really, really solidly this tournament, and yeah, it's just been awesome. It's just been a lot of fun, start to finish. So
yeah,
great. Obviously, the biggest shout out of all goes to the players, right? You know, it's just been such a good show.
They have been putting on one hell of a show. That Darcy match with Bevon is going to go down in the history books as a class fucking match. I'm just saying it now. That was a really good freaking match to watch. So GG's to everyone. And we're just waiting now on our players to show up in this best of 5 bronze match for the losers finals. And then we'll be able to crack on with the finals, which could very easily be forcing a swap over. But I don't think this is the first time that Bevon and Nex have met in bracket, and all of their matches have been really, really good. Nex is a really solid player. His thrusting sword is absolutely terrifying. Really, really good stuff. So, could be good. I joined because Inservants told Endicun that he joined, but he lied. It was pretty bad. I'm pretty upsetty sketchy. I was looking forward to seeing Inserman going for a bit of mass, but alas, it's not to be. Alright, either way, builds. Look at this. Next on that thrusting sword. The classic thrusting sword shenanigans. 54 strength, 44 end versus the faith. Strength versus faith. But how strong is your faith that this is going to be a good match, Brother Montage?
As strong as Tacman's faith right now, 50. That's what it is specifically. That. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Tacman's going to go off of this setup. It seems like the majority of the players, of course, with a couple exceptions like Bevon, are kind of just, hey, this is the setup I'm running this tournament. I'm not pivoting off of it. It's working, and it's obviously definitely working for Tacman, despite being in losers. You know, there's an alternative universe where he's in finals. And not Bevon, so totally understand sticking to your guns on this one, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
All right, well, will I count you in, Monty?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, first round, the losers, 1st to 3, bronze match. Nex in blue, Tacman in red, on a 3, on a 2, on a 1, Ale.
Okay, we do not see any projectile start. I lied. All right, cool.
Nice caster's projectiles.
Yeah, I know. That's on me. I deserve that. But anyways, none of the projectiles land, so it doesn't matter. But again, like we talked about, you know, these kind of like leapfrog turnarounds with these power stance straight swords has just been a really, really cool, just strategy here with Tacman that seems to keep catching a lot of people. So either way, great strong start from Tacman here, getting that damage on these codeds, and yeah, we're seeing that Nex has been having a really killer losers bracket run, so you can almost see that he's really commanding the aggression here, whereas Tacman is kind of taking that like, hey, slow down now. I will punish any mistake. He's been playing solidly. So either way, yeah, we do see the nice running R2 into the end of the R1. Great stuff. Again, trying to catch these jump attacks. That's one of the best things that you can do on a thrusting sword, especially against the power stance straight sword. If you do a jump attack, just know that, you know, you could be walking yourself into danger there. So either way, we do see Nex just pushing Tacman into this corner. The jump attack does work. Hey, if the first one doesn't work or the second one doesn't work, the third one, amen, it will. And we do see a big lead here from Tacman right now. Both players still having their bubble. Nice running R2 to catch. And we do see those little R1 pokes, but still, okay. Oh, I thought the bubble got popped. I lied. Now it's popped. Very cool. Anyways, so we do see now it's Tacman kind of controlling that neutral, but both players no shame to doing a little mashing here in middle. We do like that. Again, jumping over the player. These trades, Tacman. Oh, okay. We do see a Stormblade coming out. Nice little projectile, Ash of War. The running L1. It was a bit of a gamble. Does get punished. Next here, poised to take the first round, and they do. Good whiff punishes from the side of Nex.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from the side of next, because again, he cannot afford to trade with pretty much anything here. It's really, really nasty, because again, the damage differential, especially on an unbuffed... Hang on a second, let me fix this real quick. Uh-oh. Silly. The biggest problem here is that the thrusting sword doesn't do that much damage compared to it. So you just can't afford to trade. There's just no way. It's good night and good luck. Like, we even seen there, any trades that did manage to happen in that last one were just absolutely brutal. In fact, look at that. He's more or less evened out the entire match on one or two hits, which is just absolutely insane. But Nex had really good patient play, punished some of these mistakes. Like that run L1 was just a horrifying mistake there from Tacman. That's just not what you want to do. And then arguably the best attack in the fucking game, the rolling R1 coming out from the side of Nex, just being absolutely brutal. Absolutely.
And we're going to roll R1 our way into the second round. I'm going to count you in, Enda.
Just give me a moment. Let me change the score. Yep, there we go. Now we're good to go.
In 3, 2, 1.
Allez. The bolt is out. The physics have been drunk, and both players now are going to go for their respective buffs. Missing the harpoon. Eating some damage for the sake of a harpoon again. You know what? Listen. A sailor's tragedy happening over here by the looks of things. As we do see beautiful spacing coming out there from Nex. Beautiful turnaround coming out there from the side of Tacman. Had an opportunity to go for a bit of damage there, but... didn't actually go for good patience, as we do see just the priorities coming out here from the side of Nex, doing some really good work as the running R1 comes out. Beautiful spacing, look at that! This is a really hard matchup, believe it or not, for Tacman. Thrusting sword into PSSS is an absolute... It's just so difficult. It's a little bit easier now, given that there's no buffs allowed on thrusting sword, and he does have to be very, very worried because he's going to lose so many of those trades. A good rollout there comes out now from Nex once more. Running R2 there, bit impatient with it, but read that there was going to be an attack coming through there. Tries to go for those runaways, but look at that, it's evened out! So many more attacks have to hit.
Like you said, 1 or 2 trades, and it's like you can have this monumental lead, but it doesn't really mean anything if you make 1 or 2 mistakes.
Yeah, and we see the really nice attempt to go for the backswing there from Nex, but the rollouts here coming out from the side of Tacman, just playing puck with the strategy. Beautiful. Tears are now gone for both. Tears just gone for Tacman. Nex still has his. He's very much on the cusp of getting tear skipped here. I think it might behoove him to try and go for a forced half hit into a trade now once more. Into that 200 HP. Nex is just going to town on him. The backswing landing.
Oh my gosh! Absolutely. One thing I have to call out is Nex is the patience. Yeah. You know, you saw Tacman trying to condition a roll. Like, it was like 3 straight seconds of him just running his character model into Nex, and Nex just stood tall and said, "Nope. I will reaction everything that you do." So, yeah, Nex is just playing so strong. Who knocked him out of the bracket?
It was early on, actually. I actually forget who it was.
It was K2. It was K2. And then came back and 3-0'd K2 in losers. Wow. I mean, what an adjustment from Nex here.
Nice. So someone has asked me a very good question, which is, why is tier allowed in this rule set? The reason why I allow tier in this rule set is I really like the dynamics in gameplay that go around people operating around tier. Even if they play Giga Passive, I do find that to be a very interesting aspect of the gameplay. That's what I find interesting about the tier. 164 I think is good. I think it has some really solid stuff. But as a caster and as a tournament organizer, I find talking about what people are doing in relation to their tier to be kind of it adds a degree of depth in, and it's the same reason why I have Blessed Dew, Red Feather and Blue Feather allowed on this rule set as well. Tier skips are also cool. I think that they're epic. Yes, first to 3, first 2, 3.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm kind of there in agreement with you. I think tier is just, any time there is a tier skip, like, don't get me wrong, my heart goes out to the player that happens to, but I think there's also something to be said about the player that conditions that and is in a situation where they can use that as an avenue of victory. It's cool to see.
It's something to operate around, which as myself as a player, I like. And as a tournament organizer and caster, I also like. But either way, we digress. The yappers. We're yapping again. I can't believe it. Monty, give us the count in for what could be
absolutely. Is Next going to walk away with it in 3, in 2, and 1? Take it away, Enda.
Boom. Tier skip is killing with bubble tier healing. Yes, it's killing before they get their tiers out. That is what it is.
Okay.
And a really nice punish right off the bat there. But Mayweathering his way in the corner there is the side of Tacman. Actually managing to get away with it there. Next is going to be chilling here in neutral. Waiting for those opportunities. Waiting for a whiff to work off of. Good roll comes out from the side of Next. Tacman is going to space out that run R2. Playing into that win condition here in this matchup. If he's able to get the strafe and actually go for those punishes, Tacman is able to do some absolutely obscene damage. But there we go. Next actually managing to go for beautiful spacing into the back swing and force back out, as we are going to see both players kind of reset here. Unfortunately, a little bit of a desync on my end. NA are all laggards, I will remind you, as we are going to see that attempt there for a nice punishment not to happen, as we do see the run R2, but he is going to be punished for beautiful stuff here from the side of Tacman. Into that run under there from the side of Next, though, and a run R1 into the Mashu. Both players still have their tier. As we are
Next is starting to punish these jumps. The leapfrog tactic that Tacman's been using. So this is good stuff.
Ooh, nicely done here as we're going to see it. As we do see it come out there. Nicely done. Into we go for that running R1. Into a run R2. Nicely done here from the side of both of them, as we are going to see. Both players look for an opportunity to come in. Run R2 comes out there. It's not going to land, though. Good rollout now once more. Into it. The attempted trade, but look at that. Evens it out. Tacman may be able to bring this one back, as we see both players forced back into this neutral once more. Beautiful play here from the side of Nyx, getting the backswing. Run R2 comes out. In he goes the mash, but he's going to be mashed on himself into the CR1. 110 HP.
100 hit. Ah!
Into the punish attempt. And there we have it. Tacman takes a round.
The backhand blade comeback. Oh. What a crazy option there. That is so, like... I mean, it really does. In that particular scenario, it just feels like a 50-50. Man put everything into that. And honestly, I respect the hell out of it. That was sick. What a fast swap, too. Oh, my gosh.
Really nicely done. Oh, beautiful stuff here. Beautiful stuff here. Look at this. Tacman making sure this isn't a clean sweep. Beautiful stuff. Look, just the patience here from the side of Nex all the way through in these rounds. Almost managing to get that as the CR1 comes out then to finish it out. Oh, beautiful.
He could have committed to that, but he was still like so stone cold in his resolve to be like, nope, this might not go my way. So he canceled it. Still, you know, got the crouch attack right. But geez, that was so cool.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff. But what could be last round? Match points still for Nex. Tacman crawling back. Mr. Montage, will I give you the count in?
Yes, sir.
And ladies and gentlemen, on a 3, on a 2, on a 1. LA.
Okay. And we are seeing... I like the Stormblade. Yeah, it got him with it last time. Did it again. Just a raw one to the face. Okay, all right. I see. It's good stuff. Why not go for it? It's going to be a safe option. But we do see in the corner. Oh, you cannot fight back against that Power Stance Straight Sword. That is just a rough time. But yeah, okay. So the damage that was done to Tacman has been brought back. Yeah, I mean, God, the codes just do so much. But still, even all that to say, you know, Nex is playing very, very, very well right now. And yeah, both players just not making it easy for the other. You cannot be trading into these codeds. We do see an R2 going wide there. Oh. We do see a little handy tech happening. But yeah, Nex still saying, hey, you want to stay in my face? I'll just poke you real quick, you know? This is going to be a... Oh, but that jump attack trade... And in all of his exchanges, I mean, hey, that's coded for you. Into the backhand blade, trying to finish it out. Oh, Nex has a bit of a mountain to climb, but he's been playing so strongly, so it's like, I'm not going to count anything out just yet. Oh, down to 80 health. He's got to make something happen here. It's not looking good. Nice whiff punish, almost gets it. 691 to 80, forcing him in the corner. 400 to, it might happen. He's bringing it back next.
Oh my god, he did it!
He does! Oh my gosh, that is insane. That just was like, I don't even want to call that rock paper scissors because that was just great play, but like any one of those could have just not gone in the way. And he still pulled it out. It is 2-2 and
No, it's
holy shit.
It's that's all she wrote. That's the match done. Nex managing to take it but that comeback was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane comeback here from the side of Nex. My man is playing his heart and soul out. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I mean, that is a you don't get a comeback like that every single day. We'll just say that, you know? Jesus. That was something actually insane. And like not even doing it with like you know, again, you have to win a lot of trades. It's thrusting sword, you know, the benefit is it's good moveset, but you know, especially with what Tacman's also running with this, you know, off dagger with backhand blade. I mean, it has so many options to just end this match. So you have to play near perfect to do what Nex just did, and he pulled it out. That's nuts. Hey, go to emojis in chat. I think I saw that. I think that's valid. I think that's warranted.
Interesting. Either way, just a great finish. That is going to be Tacman winning third place. I forget the exact prize amount that I set for third place, but I will be in touch after the tournament. Congratulations to both. And looking at that there, absolutely exceptional round as Nex takes his place, ready to take on the GOAT himself, Bevon, who's been playing his heart out as well. This is going to be a great finals.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure chat can inform me on this, or maybe you know, has Nex like had like a big tourney win like this in the past?
I don't.
Not to put the cart before the horse, but he's in finals, right? So the opportunity's there.
I think he's definitely done very well in the past. I'm not sure if it's
yeah.
I'm not sure if he's actually managed to win one yet, but he's done very, very well in brackets in the past. It's just he's gone up against the stone wall that is Bevon usually, or some of the other absolute creatures.
One does not simply walk into Mordor, and that is what this man is doing. So, you know, hey, that's it's the way Nex is playing. This is not going to be an autopilot match for Bevon. You know,
very much.
This is. Yeah, so this is shaping up to be a really, really exciting finals here, and we'll see. And this is also another piece to it, right? Is that Nex coming from losers, he's got to not take down Bevon once, but he has to do it twice in order to pull this off. So that is a lot of rounds. That you know, this is really, really gonna test Nex's endurance here. You know, so yeah, this is sick. This is really cool. We're waiting for Bevon to get in here. And,
yeah, he should be here shortly. There's like, what an amazing tournament we've had so far. Like, there's been some cracking matches. That last one is probably the highlight for me. That's probably my favorite. But we do see Bevon back in, and it does seem as though it's going to be both of our players.
The thrusting swords coming back.
Thrusting swords once more.
We're gonna see, is 2 better than 1?
This is the age-old question. This is the age-old question.
That's so true. Would you rather have 2 cupcakes or 1? Would you rather be watching your weight or a fat piece of shit? I think both are valid.
Both are on the list here, but this is the finals, ladies and gentlemen, with a best of 7. To start off, and then a best of 5 bracket reset to follow up. So there's a lot going on here. But ladies and gentlemen, we have both of our players. We have both of our players in and ready to go.
Absolutely.
Monty, for the grand finals, will you do me the honor of counting me
I
in?
will, my good man. Finals match 1, Nex and Bevon. We're gonna see if Nex can keep on this streak, or if Bevon can defend the title. And in 3, 2, 1, go.
LA, as the bolt is out, both players going for that. And we do see the interrupt. Nice immediate damage there from the side of Nex. As we do now see both players looking for an opportunity. Goes for the JL1 there, not going to land though, unfortunately, as Bevon is immediately going to swap over onto that Dragon Shield. As we do see the Run R1 coming out now. A little bit of Poise Chip comes through there, as we are going to see now these wiggles around in neutral. As the PSTS just does its thing, gets some really good damage. Looking at that, here to go for a jump L1 now once more into the Mashu. But the thrusting sword says, no sir, I am going to mash back. And that is a no-brainer for me, as we are going to see that swap over onto the Blessed Dew here from the side of Bevon. And the mash comes through. Beautiful stuff here from the side of Nex, though, managing to get away from the majority of that damage as the Sacred Blade comes through. Actually getting a hit there. Empty jump there, trying to bait out the response. A little bit of Poise Chip coming through now once more, and a free aim with another little bit of Poise Chip on top, just in case. Next, resetting now, going for that Run R2. The R2 lands into the follow-up R2. Fane going for that little bit of kickflip. Oh, beautiful strafe there from the side of Bevon. And both tears are now gone as the Sacred Blade comes through. Beautiful
Too much aggression.
Bit of kind of
Next,
interesting.
Shark in the water.
The blood in the water. As we do see now, both players, we go for that reset there. Swapping over onto that Sacred Blade. Trying to get more. But he has to be careful. This is another match for Nex, where the damage differential is going to be kind of the defining factor as a Run R2 into the roll catch. Bevon's on the ropes. Into Bevon, 13 HP.
Oh, Bevon 1 hit away.
Into the trade to finish it out. Jay.
Wow. Yeah, if that sets the tone for what the rest of this match is going to look like, I'm in for it. That, I mean, we love to see these down to just a couple hundred or less, HP points, to decide it. Both players playing absolutely out of their mind. Yeah, I gotta hand it to Bevon. Some of his movement there to get around these thrusting sword attacks, especially doing it on like when you're using power stance thrusting swords, right? You're still kind of locked into a bit of a longer animation than you would if you two-hand the weapon.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more commitment plays that you have to use with that weapon, which is, yeah, I mean, beautifully used here and great stuff from Nex to to finish that one off. That's a crazy start to it.
All right.
Can Nex do it?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Bevon in blue, Nihil. Nex. No, sorry. Bevon in red, Nihil. Nex. 1-0 in blue. On a 3. On a 2. On a 1. I'll in.
Okay. Let's see if there is going to be an adjustment here from Bevon. We do see the Storm Blade and the Sacred Blade going out, trying to get those projectile starts. Ooh, okay. A little bit of trade here. But we do see the damage buff on the side of Bevon here. So right now, running R2 does go a little bit wide. a little cheeky little throwing knife in there. I like that from Bevon, keep them on their feet. But Nex is prepared and ready for it. Nice. These are really, really good opportunities, good spacing to get these punishes, but that damage from Bevon is going to just chunk away at Nex here. So Nex, again, going to have to play really solid to bring this one back. That is the way that Thrusting Sword goes. It's a lot of interactions that you have to win. Luckily, it's on a weapon where it's a little easier than others, but you're not doing PS-coded damage either, so it's a lot of strong play that you have to make. Okay, we do see the rebuffing of the weapon here, and yeah, just look at this. I mean, Nex is just he's taking his little bits and he's running away with it. We do see though that Bevon is having a pretty decent lead here in the damage. I mean, just look at this right now. He still has his bubble tier. I mean, we've seen Nex do crazy stuff, but it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle here. R1 does go wide. Good roll dodge there from Bevon. And the running R2 does finish it off. What a response from Bevon here to tie it up 1-1.
1-1 on the scorecard, and it seems to be whoever gets the initial bit of aggression, gets that damage in, really forces the other person on the back foot, is the one who really takes the round, or at least sets the atmosphere for how the rest of the round is going to go. Like Bevon, some of the strafes here that Bevon was pulling on those run attacks. Look at that! It's so beautiful, so beautiful. Oh, nicely done. GG's, absolutely
Great
phenomenal stuff. There we go. And look at this. Just absolutely beautiful stuff. Goes for that press there, Bevon. Just the patience here from both of them. Like, Nex is playing very aggressively all the way through this, but... whew.
He's still playing reserved enough, too. You know? I mean, to be right out of the gate 1-0 against Bevon was, you know, if anything that shows me, you know, it shows that he's got it. The opportunity is there. Gotta reach out and grab it. And we're going to see in this round 3 if he does. And I'll count you in 3.
Just as a note, there's a couple of DS1 players in here. Absolute pleasure to see you all in. Good to see you around. Again, if you're interested in looking at DS1's PvP, do check out Dasman's, who's been hosting some really, really good first 10s and some tournaments over there. I'll put a link in that when I get a chance, but give us the count in. Sorry, I would good to
all good. Yeah, shout out to the DS1 crew. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ali, and the bolt is out. The physics are drunk, and both of our players are looking for opportunities to get some stuff in there, as we are going to see that turnaround into looking for some other stuff. Beautiful stuff. Bevon's going to take some damage right off the bat. Look at that. The counter pressure here from the side of Nex is pretty spooky, as Bevon is just kind of walking at him. Is his button broken? I'm curious. As the first bit of poise chip has come through here, which is going to mean he's guaranteed a break. But those kickflip R2s coming out there to guarantee this nice little bits of stuff, as we are going to see Bevon walk into it once again. He's trying to get that timing right, trying to force Nex possibly to roll so he can catch him, and some stuff is that jump over the top here from Bevon as an empty jump comes through there once more. Bevon taking center, trying to keep that as they run R2. Gets the break. Bevon's taking a lot of damage in this round here, but look at that. The returns coming back in here now once more. As a jump L1 comes through, getting some crazy damage. Good roll, though, from the side of Bevon, as we are going to see some nice Godskin swaddling procs coming through there, getting that extra little bit more. As the run R2 comes out, but beautiful strafe here from the side of Nex. And we do see that backspring coming through there to guarantee that bit, as we are going to see Bevon attempt to go for the crouch attack punish. Beautiful stuff. As we do see those standing R1s coming through there. A beautiful run R2 to try and initiate now once more. As we do see the poise chip finally bear some fruit. Next now keeping up that nice little bit of aggression. Good rollout now once more. The run R2 to follow up once more. As we do see the threatening and the roll-ins here. But Bevon Mayweathering his way out of the corner now once more. And he panic rolls. 1000 HP. And the difference is a run R2 is going to be strafe once more.
Ooh, 2-1 Nex.
Gee. Frickin' jeez.
I have to call it out here. Anytime Bevon might be in a slight disadvantage positionally, Nex gets absolutely the most off of it that he can. Yep. You know, he is sharking him for every last bit that he can. I mean, you're seeing it pay off here. I mean, just look at this health lead here. You know, He finished that one out by having his bubble as well. Like, awesome stuff. I mean, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but...
And again, Nex has something to prove here in a big way. Nex hasn't won an Elden Ring tournament, I think, ever. Look at that interaction!
Yeah.
Like, just so cool.
Every time the door is open, he's walking through. He's making sure that he gets what he wants.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. But we have both of our players in now once more. Monty, is it time for the full Monty in this 2-1?
I believe so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on a 3, on a 2, and a 1. Ale.
Okay, let's see if Bevon is going to make this a 2-2, but he does get doesn't get fully interrupted. He still gets his buff off, which is really nice. But here we go. Yep, Like I said, slightly out of position. Nex is taking it all the way to the bank, but you can't. I mean, he kind of treats it like a power stance straight sword, right? Where it's like, hey, I can still pump out a lot of damage too if you commit to something too hard. But either way, we do. Oh my gosh, he's just stayed in his face too long, and the mash did pay off there. Bevon again having a bit of a hill to jump here. Yeah, this is great stuff from Nex. He's just, I mean, again, this is Bevon we're talking about here. This is like insane play coming from Nex. So, okay, we do see L1, R1. The R1's just pumping out. He's catching him on every opportunity. He has it down to a science here. I mean, we already see the tier popped on the side of Bevon, and 400 to 900 with a tier. This is rough. We do see the blue feather coming out on the side of Bevon. 267. He has got to make something happen here. He's got to win a lot of trades to really even this up.
The smartest move here. The smartest move here from the side of Bevon is to really wait out that tier, because the health difference without the tier is quite substantial.
100 health.
Oh, and he just ends up getting poked.
That's a 3-1. That's a 3-1. And this is a first of 4, right?
So first of 4.
Not completely doing the bracket reset just yet. He has one more to do it, but I mean 3-1 on Nex over Bevon.
Oh,
that's look. Even if he doesn't win, this is already big. You know, like this is actually like incredible work from Nex, and the fact that he has just gotten this good too. I mean, good stuff.
Next, I said it. I'm not sure if it was myself casting one of the FOCs fairly recently, or well, in the last 6 to 9 months. But Nex is on fire. He can play out of his frickin' mind if he's left. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Really, really solid. But, ladies and gentlemen, this could be it. Bevon 1, Nex 3. Monty, give us the count in as we see the swap. Over to my beloved.
Ooh, Bevon's not feeling. He's saying, "Yep, I'm losing the thrusting sword battle," but he is a man of many talents and many in his arsenal. So let's see if the halberd is the right call here. In 3, 2, 1, allez.
And the bolt is out. The physics are drank, and the blade stormed. I think that doesn't work. Never mind. As we are going to see that run attack come out here. Beautiful rolls coming out here on the side of Bevon. And we see the trade into that off stock going Burr, my beloved. Bit of a risky maneuver here. I for one do not like this matchup one little bit. But that anti-jump, and the Nex trying to go for that jump, but it's not to be. And look at that life differential on the swap over onto the fists, which is really, really nice. Again, taking advantage of that poise chip. He will be guaranteed a break on an unreactable run R1 into a bit of mash. Tier gone. Jump attack over the top.
Yummy.
Not going to happen there as we see the halberd come out now. Are we going to see that swap over onto the fists once more? Beautiful whiff punish comes out though into that backswing. So tries to set up there for a run R2, but it's not to be, as we are going to see that aim down to try and get that extra little bit of range. Not to happen. Into a running attack once more. Bevon goes for the offstock, getting that chip 30 HP to 700 as we see the swap over to fists. This is what it's all about. And the run attack goes for the crouch to try and bait out the strafe attempt from the side of Bevon. As are we going to see the mash coming out there? We do not. Absolutely nice play here from Bevon, but he's not out of the woods yet as the aim down comes through. Recognizing that it's not over yet, says Nex. I have 30 HP. And the offstock comes through. Nex has done it. Into the poke to finish us out. Oh
my gosh, I was like, oh, he could technically do it. Oh my. Okay, 3-2.
3-2.
Still in the favor of Nex. But that was okay. I look, results are results, right? So I think it's clear to say the halberd was the right call. Now it might be something where it was just one round where Nexus said, "Oh crap, I have to readjust for it." But you now have a round under your belt. You know, is the download going to happen ever? Is it going to be complete? Has it already been finished? We'll see in this next round. But I mean, even still at the very end there, like Bevon clearly was playing. While having a massive health lead, was not playing greedy at all, you know? Will not give it away for free. And despite playing so ironclad like that, still, Nex brought it down pretty considerably close.
Yeah, really solid matches here. The comebacks are real. It's so cool. I'm sorry. I'm just blown away by what I'm witnessing here. This is some really solid play here from both of them. Next, putting on one hell of a show, Bevon doing some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff as we peer through and over the parapet, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, give us the count. Give us the count in, Monty.
Absolutely. Is Nex going? He's only one away from a bracket reset. In 3, in 2, in 1. Will this be it?
This could be it, or are we going to see a tie from the side of Bevon as the Stormblade comes out just a little bit too late from the side of Nex, as we are going to see that standing R1 come out in the halberd. Good roll, though. Had the opportunity to strafe, but didn't take it, not trusting himself here. As the aim punch comes through,
I was going to say, aim punch!
The controller is going to be thrown across the room after that one. My God, as we are going to see some really good rolls come out here from the side of Bevon. But he is going to be clipped. Far from shipped, though, as Bevon is getting run down currently, which is always the weakness here of the halberd going through here. His next goes for another standing standing R1s, but he has to be careful about those roll-ins. It's so tough to avoid, as we are going to see that follow-up R1 come out from Nex, trying to punish that whiff, as we do see another running R1 to try and initiate it. As we do see now the stutter steps coming through, stutter stepping their way into the next dimension. Good running R1, another running R1 to follow up, as we do see Bevon just beautifully doing it as the swap over to Hall Axe comes out, which is exactly what he needs to get that counter pressure in, as another aim down comes through, punishing that the build up to that running R1 as he goes for that follow-up R1 himself. Next, taking some crazy damage here. Bevon. Oh, the swaddling cloth harvests are truly bountiful this day, as we do see now that off axe coming through here into the standing R1, the aim down to try and get that catch. He does, but the jump over the top. Both players pretty much even Steven as the tear's been popped now. And the standing R1 getting that punish. Players so even now as the rung R1 comes through into that beautiful whiff punish. And the off axe there, sending Nex running once more. As we are going to see that running R2 come out there, but Bevon's going to be clipped. Far from shipped, though. He has a considerable amount of HP left in the... More gas is left in the tank as a chop from the off axe comes through. 3-3. Holy fuck.
There's no way from a 3-1. I mean, look, if anyone's going to do it, it's obviously going to be Bevon. But... I think it's clear to say, the download is not complete. That's not to say, hey, maybe it takes 2 games instead of 1. But it does look like Nex is really trying to figure out to understand where his openings are. I mean, Bevon's just doing such a good job at baiting out these attacks and just getting these standing R1s with the halberd punishes, And even then, he's still doing a good job of... just knowing like, oh, it's off axe time. Like this is full off axe, he spent like the last quarter of that fight just off axing the crap out of him. But again, setting up that match and that victory with all of these great whiff punishes. I mean, yeah, this is textbook stuff, halberd play coming from Bevon. Great stuff. I mean, look, is this next round? It is either going to be a next bracket reset, or it is going to be a Bevon win and a crazy comeback at that. So regardless, cinematic ending.
Cinematic, truly. Oh my lord. But ladies and gentlemen, whew. Oh my god. I hate both of these players because they're playing so fucking good. It's hard to concentrate. Alright, there's a tournament happening. Ladies and gentlemen, we have both of our players ready. Alright? They're ready. Match point. Bracket reset potential of Nex wins. Bevon takes at least $50. I forget how much I offered to give him initially. If he wins it. Alright. On a 3. On a 2. On a 1. Allez.
Okay, both players off right now. We do see some of those projectiles coming out. None of them landing right now. The buffs have been applied. And again, both players kind of fighting over neutral. Who's going to get that first? Right now, it looks like Bevon has that. We see, nice roll attack from the thrusting sword. And again, Nex is finding his openings. It looked like he was kind of struggling with that a little bit, but he has them. Gets stuffed out by the standing R1. Tries to mash into it. Does take a little bit of axe damage from that. Okay, talisman swaps are coming out. And again, Bevon is playing careful right now. So is Nex. Okay, running R2. Sorry, I thought he's changed weapon for some reason. I was like, what? How did he do that? Anyways, okay. Both players are in that kind of mode right now to just see who's gonna attack first. Is there gonna be a punish for it? It's a lot of game of chicken right now. You can see both players playing very reserved. Great stuff running R2 into the R1 from Nex. Bevon right now he's down this. Okay, the lead is starting out from Nex, but Bevon, of course, can bring this nice running R1. I think that was an unlock, if I'm not mistaken. But we do see the axes catching, and now this is big damage, of course. I cursed him. Bevon is coming back. Still has his tier procced. Nex is going to have to play a bit more aggressive. Might as well go out swinging. Does get a nice running R1 right there. And again, both players playing so carefully. These R1s just to kind of play peekaboo with the other person. Doesn't quite get that running R1 from Bevon. We do see both players. Okay, one punish. Doesn't get the second one off there. These R1s coming out. Joe's goes for the replying of the buff. Does not get punished on Nex. And we do see, again, a cheeky throwing knife.
Beautiful,
nice running R2 follow up with the R1 bait. That was a great conditioning. Both players trying to go into it using the hand axe. This might be it for Nex. Unless he can make something happen. And he has had these comebacks.
Beautiful punish!
Ooh, that's big! And the one into the axe. Bevon does take it. Your Tarnished CUP NA tournament winner. Bevon pulls off this comeback, and the halberd was the option, was the solution to it. Again, look, Bevon has the if you know, you know. You know the name Bevon, you know. What an insane comeback. 3-1, playing multiple games on game point and not letting any of that get to your head. No nerves, fighting, clawing his way back. Insane stuff. And we also have to say, Nex did so good. Like this is one of the most impressive. Like this is like something you'd see like somebody like a servant or buddy or someone do. But Nex, who hasn't had a win yet, still just put up a hell of a fight. That was not an autopilot at all for Bevon. That was still in crazy amounts of mental to get as far as he has, to get it that close. I mean, huge shout out to Nex.
No.
Incredible stuff.
Both players played absolutely out of their mind. And I think we're going to go for just a quick little player interview here real quick. Hang on a second. Let me add Nex as a friend to make sure that he can actually join this VC at Nex. No, he'll have to accept my friend request in order to get in. And thank you so much for the subs and the support you guys have been doing. Absolutely insane. You all are amazing for what could be the last Elden Ring NA finals to finish it. And a beautiful stuff here. Beautiful stuff. The last NA ones for now. And I'm just waiting for Nex to join, but Bevon and Bron the Goat are both of you are more than welcome to join up at your leisure. Nex, if you're there, just accept my friend request and we'll get you in. But some really perfect, just beautiful halberd play there came out from the side of Bevon. You set up there, you set them up to go in for the roll R1s. They come in and they do stuff, and it's just you move out, punish, move out, punish. Beautiful stuff. And who do we have among us?
Yo, what's up?
Bron, what did you think of that absolutely cracked finals as our analyst desk?
That was pretty good. I was hoping we were going to get the reset.
The reset would have been a great storyline for sure.
My heart wouldn't have been able to take it. Let's be completely freaking honest here, Bron.
Nex was on fire in losers. Like he was killing people in like 20 seconds. And this is like Bubble. He was playing super good. I don't know if he has much like practice into Halex, because he felt like he was a bit uncomfortable in the matchup. He was way more comfortable playing against the 2-stock. But it was really good.
Oh my god, is that Bevon? Is that the Bevon? Space Buddy?
Is my hair okay?
Your hair, you're looking kind of fly, not gonna lie, especially after one hell of a round. Bevon, tell us your thoughts while I try and get Nex set up here to join.
I don't know. I don't feel that good this morning, but everyone was playing really, really well. I don't know what was going on. I had to work for this one.
There's something in the water, man. There's something in the water in 2025.
Bro, I don't. No, it was a good tourney though. I really hope everyone liked it. I don't know how the rest of the matches went. I tried to stay off stream for a while.
Sure.
Damn.
No,
How was it on your end?
you put on an absolute show with pretty much everyone that you fought. You know, it was like, again, one of the things that I always comment on that I appreciate you as a player is that like no one. No, you don't let anybody autopilot you. Obviously, you have incredible fundamentals where that's just naturally a thing. But at the same time, next being up 3-1, it's like, hey, that doesn't mean lights out, you know? That doesn't automatically mean like, all right, it's a bracket reset, right? I mean, like, what a crazy comeback. That was just awesome work, dude.
Yeah, the thought did cross my mind for a second. How to what do I bring back in set 2 in case there is a reset? And then I pressed the button in my inventory, 2 items to the left, and I found my Halax, and I'm like, oh, right.
Do you
I just
understand
kinda
my
deep-fried
pain
that
of
way.
trying to make Hallstock work into absolute unwinnable matchups? It's not fun, Bevon. It is not fun. But I really
It's like
like
the impending doom. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I really do like the swap from Hallstock over to two-handed fists. I think that's a really nice swap, and I think that's a really nice tech. Just to get that poise chip and then immediately run into that. Is there someone who did that first, or where did you pick that up from?
No, that's just I don't want to call it a new cook because it feels like it's just something we should have been doing as soon as 1.10 dropped, or maybe 1.09 whenever TS got 108 poise damage. But it doesn't feel as good as like Sham Fist or something because
Yeah.
a lot of your stats are invested into endurance, right? So I thought if there's ever a setup I could pull it off, it'd be something that has 50 faith or 50 int. So you don't really feel the deficit of not having like 65 strength or whatever as much. But yeah, no, it's fun. I brought it out the worst time though. It would be ideal against someone like Inservin or anybody that I have less than like 30 MS to. It's just such a shitty feeling to like trade or work so hard for the off-stock chip, go to Fist and get your first hit Phantom.
Yeah.
I guess absorbed by their poison. It's like, okay, well, that was fun. Yeah, that's what I
Interesting.
Halax.
The other thing as well is those early rounds against Nex in particular. Was there a particular thing that you were struggling with to try and get those hits in, or?
I think this was the worst I've ever done in understanding someone's poise. It felt like I never really had the leverage
You
I
have
needed
bull
to.
goat, bro.
I'm gonna. Are you? No. What? Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Pretty cool, huh?
It's go to what is it? Not Farron Keep. Fort Farron.
Dragon Barrel
down
Cave.
there. Dragon Barrel Cave is just right down there. Yeah, I was wondering, like, how is this guy's?
Bro could have
poison
peeked at the
generating so
stream for 1 second and completely reevaluated his gameplay.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god, this game could have been so. But, I'm not as serious. Nex is a competitor, but oh my god, that. Where's my coaches? Where's my backup? Amy, where are you?
Hey, mid-set
Oh,
coaching,
literally.
yeah, bring it in.
Literally right here. The last
We
video
do
from
have a
MB.
question.
I should have told you about No Bull Goat. Yeah, okay.
We do have a question though that comes from chat. Can you confirm that you are in fact not Kai?
I can confirm. Yeah, I think my voice is a little, not too many octaves deeper, than that, but yeah, I can confirm. Yes.
I think it's a voice changer, guys. We're not out of the woods yet. We'll figure this one. We'll get to the bottom of this yet. But absolutely stunning performance. Outside of that last match, are there any other highlights from the tournament that you've come into so far? What was your favorite match in the bracket, I guess, Mr. Bevon?
Game 4 against Darcy, where I got reaction checked into oblivion. That was pretty fun. It was kind of humbling. Not humbling, yes, but also it was like kind of a wake up call. I've been drowning myself in coffee all morning. Nothing really got me until then.
It was like, oh god.
Yeah, that was something interesting. But no, it's good. It's good. I was telling actually Amy just now that I really feel as though I'm not hitting my stride until it's game 5. Maybe it's the lack of nerves, but Game 5, I feel as though I haven't had like that close a game. I think every Game 5 today, as numerous as they may be, I've had my tier unpopped. I think. I have to double check.
I'd have
It
to
feels like
double
I'm-
check, but you usually locked the fuck in for the final one, usually as a general
Yeah.
rule. So, kudos to you, Bron. As I have you here, were there any highlights out of the losers brackets that you would advise people to skip to?
The next fights, he was just cooking. He was playing really well in losers.
Oh my
I think
god.
he was mad from the winner's loss, and he was just okay. Let me get back out there, because it's like 20 seconds. I shoot the arrow. I look at the side. Like, wait, why is someone dead? What happened here?
Oh, I only ever got to see Nexus run against Tacman, and oh my god, that looked kind of scary. I'll be real. I had me quaking in my boots a little bit. If I felt as though I was playing better today, I would have gone TS Mirror, but as it stands, there's no way. That guy would have run me over. Unbelievable.
You're getting cooked in TS Mirror.
It's just, no, that guy's unreal. But glad I avoided that. Thank you, Alex.
As for you, Montage, do you have any? What was your highlight, or do you have any questions? I guess for Bevon, as you have Beverage here in your gracing us with his presence.
Yeah, just kind of like what I said before. I'm thankful that, again, this game being as late into its lifespan as it is, and you've been playing it since the beginning, that you have put on a show every single time, whether it's, locking it until game 5, whatever it is. But like the match against Darcy was insane. The match against Tacman was insane. And obviously now against Nex, like they've all been nail biters. And when it comes to, at least from a caster's perspective, when it comes to the drama and the storyline of it, you make my job a lot easier. So I thank you for that.
Well, that's relieving to hear. I really hope you guys don't have like a boring set. I haven't seen a boring set.
I don't think
in
there
a very long
was.
time.
It's a shame.
No,
It's
they've
always
all been great.
It's a shame some of the earlier rounds were all sweeps. That's always kind of, with the exception of Nex versus K2. That's always a little. It's kind of a shame sometimes when the early sets are like that. But some new players showed up into arguably one of the most stacked brackets. I think only the Kai tourney was more stacked than this, and it's a shame when it happens. But you know what? GG's to everyone. I hope it was a pleasant experience to all the new people, like that Bevon guy. I really hope that he took something out of this tournament and can really move on into other stuff. He's potential, bro. He's potential, bro.
Oh, I just
Keep an eye on that guy.
actually,
Something's going to happen.
I might take up speed running now. No, I've conquered PvP.
There you go.
Actually,
there you go.
no, that's not true. That's not true. Well, I gotta tell you guys, my warm up for this tourney last night was a player by the name of Millennia, Blade of Mikola. That was like
There you go.
17 attempts. I'm actually so unbelievably bad at this game right now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad I could lock it in when I need to.
Yeah, I heard that they're pretty insane PvP players, so that's glad you got that warm up.
Really bore truth. And thanks for the host. No, Nex, thank you for putting on what I can only say is an absolutely phenomenal show. Shout out to Nex, everyone. Nex you played your heart and soul out. But I'll leave the floor to any of you gentlemen if you've any last words before we send you all onto somewhere warm and cozy.
I would like to say big shout out to our lovely host, End of the Lion, for putting on this tournament, making it happen, orchestrating getting all the players here, copy and pasting the Elden Ring PvP rule set.
That was the hardest part.
Yeah. No, but for real, like these are always a treat, and I'm thankful that you thought of me to co-cast today. So it was just a fun time all around, and I think this tournament was really refreshing for me. It's good to be back. It's been a second since I've done commentating, so this was a lot of fun. Thank you to the players, and that's all. That's my last final piece.
Bevon, do you have anything you need to say?
Echoing his words, yeah, no, thank you. I have to say, though, I'm a little disappointed. Production value is a little too high. I always expected these to be a little more grassroots. This feels genuinely like FOC right now, which has a little more prestige to it.
Just throw on an unregistered hypercam too, Enda. Come on.
I'll put the 62 FPS thing in the corner, and we'll be good to go. Okay?
140p. Come on, give the people what they want.
Overlaying Comic Sans, man. Come on. And,
You're I'm taking notes as we speak.
Now we're cooking.
HP bars, we don't need those. Come on.
So the funny part is most of this stuff that I have for the just as like for anyone who wants the behind the scenes stuff, all of it is stolen. I think the background thing, the red and black thing on the bottom, that's Tommy of Astoria gave me that like 4 years ago, and I've been using it since.
Yeah.
The backdrop for the name bars, they were stolen wholeheartedly from ERPVP. Likewise, about 4 years ago. It's all, and I just want to say, as I have it, like, kudos to both Halvard and Amelia for all the work they do in terms of the beautiful overlay stuff, in terms of the health bars and all that stuff. Just I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without all this. Like, it makes the viewing experience better. It makes me hosting the tournament easier. It's just, even if they're not around anymore, I haven't seen Halvard in a hot minute. Kudos to him. And of course, Amira, who made the cam software, the initial cam software that we're still using to this day. So again, everyone, thank you. This is a community effort, and the people who matter always come around and make some of the most amazing stuff. So yeah, that's all I'll say on that. But Bron, do you have any thoughts?
Not much to add. It was a really nice one. I had fun doing losers, and then I had fun watching the finals. So really good tourney all around.
Excellent.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Is there an EU coming?
There will be an EU at some point. It won't be this month. It'll probably, because plugging it requires me to play Elden Ring. So I'm going to take another bit of a break.
All right.
So it'll probably be next month, the month after, before I crack on with EU. But yeah, this is the last North American tournament for Elden Ring by me for the foreseeable. We'll see what Tarnished Edition brings when it does. And I can say, now is the time to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that I have no fucking idea when Tarnished Edition is coming out. So, best of luck. It's been wild.
I really thought it was going to be announced.
Yeah, I have my contacts in Bandai who totally don't mind me calling the developers of this video game clueless is definitely a thing. But either way, folks, it has been an absolute pleasure. Big shout out and big thank you, as I said earlier on, to Amelia, Amira, Halvard, all of the people, even Tommy of Astoria for the overlay stuff that I've stolen over the years. You are all amazing. To Montage, arguably, I still consider you to be the top current caster for Elden Ring stuff. You do amazing work. It is a pleasure and an honor to do work with you. To Bron the Goat,
Thanks for thinking of me.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in the EU bracket and that hype finals between yourself and Space Ranger for the 50 millionth time. I think that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that one. That should be a great time. And for, of course, your guidance over the years for rule set stuff. Both yourself and Bevon have been invaluable in terms of the homebrewed fucking nonsense that I come up with. And Bevon, next. There are 2 finalists, and Tacman as well, coming in third. You all played amazingly today, phenomenally. And let me go through the full players list very quickly. To Barebones, to JackTech, who is new, and Nate, who are new. Both of these new players making a name for themselves, throwing themselves into the deep end. Ladies and lads, kudos to ye. You played your hearts out. An absolute pleasure to have you in bracket. To K2 for the unnecessary BM, but ended up getting him to lose. Lamau. That's all I have to say on that. To Mad Casual for taking filth. To Darcy for being the Gugs Queen once more. And Sip for coming out of retirement for this absolutely amazing tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure seeing you all here once more. And I'll see you for the EU one. And possibly Total War tournaments. Okay, bye.
Hey, good plug.